And isn't it great to have the footy back? Good afternoon and welcome to the Melbourne Cricket Ground for this round 2 game between Richmond and the Adelaide Crows. Both winners in the first round, and Adelaide, with a surprise to some, win over one of the pre-season favourites, the Brisbane Lions. But I suppose one win doesn't yet make a winter, and Malcolm Blight certainly has to prove his worth over a lot of games yet. But the Adelaide Crows certainly looking good in round 1, and Richmond will add a terrific win against Geelong, who have been their nemesis over recent years. So Richmond back at their home ground. Head-to-head, these two teams are 5-4. Adelaide won the first 5. Richmond have won the last 4 in a row, all at the MCG. So they have a terrific record at the MCG. And I'm surprised. I thought the crowd would be a bit bigger. It's probably about 30,000 as the Tigers make their way onto the arena. And I would have thought that every Richmond fan in town would be out after their terrific win last week against Geelong. A lot of new faces in this Richmond side, a lot of youngsters there, but some real class and talent, and Matthew Richardson on the forward line, really exciting. Here come the Crows, Tony Modra up the front of the pack, and I'm sure he's going to have a great year this year under Malcolm Blight. The Tigers burst through their run-through. It's grey and overcast here at the MCG at the moment. There was some rain about half an hour ago, and now just a couple of spots of rain as the Crows burst through their run-through. This will be a big test for the Crows. They're away from home. They need to have to start winning in Melbourne.
The 1997 AFL Premiership season. Proudly brought to you by Victoria Bitter. For a hard-earned thirst. Telstra, advancing Australia. Qantas, the Australian airline. And McDonald's.
And joining us in commentary today, former AFL Coach of the Year, Terry Wheeler.
Good afternoon, Drew, and what a scene we have set here. Both sides, good solid wins last week. Perhaps Adelaide scoring by more than what people would have given them credit for, and the Tigers a very well fought win against Geelong. So the scene's set for a very big one here today.
Well, there are the Tigers, and listen as the theme song roars around this ground, and here's the lineup for Richmond.
And just the one change, Drew. Scott Turner returns after a knee injury last year into the back line, and really that does give the Tigers a lot of strength. Their defence was very good last week. Callaway, Gasper, and 2 young players, Burke and Ryan, were very good there, while their midfield worked hard, and up front they had goals from Richardson and Daffy, back with 5.
Well, that's the sort of atmosphere the Adelaide Crows are going to have to counter here today. And the Crows have won only 5 times at the MCG since they joined the competition in 1991, and that's in nearly 30 appearances. So that's one of the things that Malcolm Blight is going to have to turn around.
And one thing he does have in his favour in that, Drew, is that there are a lot of young players coming into this side, and he's reintroduced 2 new players here to the side this afternoon. Number 2 is Tim Cook, a player from Central Districts, and number 21, Trent Ormond-Allen, after a couple of seasons at Melbourne, has gone back to Adelaide. And number 16, Barry Stanfield, playing his 100th game of AFL football after 98 with Footscray, and really was a great focal point in the forward line for them there last week. Along with Modra, was a goal scorer last week. That's where Adelaide are at the moment, a very offensive unit, but in the crunch it really comes down to the midfield, doesn't it? Darren Jarman there, one of the key players in there as well. Bickley, Brett James, a very good debut for Adelaide last week, the former Collingwood player, and then Matty Connell, a former best and fairest swimmer. But those players in there, if they're prepared to stay hard at the ball, work extremely hard, they'll give their forwards a lot of opportunities, but then they still have to counter what is a very good Richmond defence.
Terry, I think these two teams are real excitement machines, with Matthew Richardson on the forward line for the Tigers, and Modra. You'd like to be the full forward in a team coached by Malcolm Blight. I'm sure Gary Ablett enjoyed it at Geelong. I reckon Modra might kick 100 this year.
Yeah, Blighty really does seem to give him that freedom to go, and Modra, 7 goals again last week, 16th time in his career. This could be a great year for that boy.
What a game this should be at the MCG. If you're watching in South Australia, don't leave your seat for the next 3 hours. We'll be back shortly. Toss of the coin, and Mark Bickley has just won the toss for Adelaide, and they're kicking towards the big scoreboard end here at the MCG in the first quarter with the breeze. Umpires in charge today. Most senior of the three is Gavin Dorr, number 19. Number 46 is Tim Shearer. And number 23, Martin Ellis, in charge today. Well, a really good atmosphere prior to the start of this game. The Tigers in a close huddle. The Crows have broken up from their close huddle. I suppose an intimidating atmosphere for the visiting team when they come to the MCG, as the Crows have found before, but making his usual pilgrimage here to the MCG. Here he is, Neil Kerley.
Yeah, thank you, Drew. Well, for the viewers, the ground conditions are absolutely perfect. The centre square is very good. The long grass is quite long outside the square. Both sides had good wins last week. This is going to be a tough match. I think you'll see Brendan Gale and Wayne Campbell with tagging roles. And the high marking, I think the Richmond boys will be too strong in that department. So for the Crows to win this football match, they'll have to use the ball very, very well.
Thank you, Curls, and a good afternoon to Ian Robertson, who joined us in commentary.
Great to be here, Drew, and looking forward to a very, very interesting game. I think this will be a tough clash between two sides that promise plenty for season 97.
Adelaide going left to right in the first quarter. Last time they met here, round 12 last year, the Tigers won by 46 points. Richardson kicked 5, and for Adelaide, Hodges was there then. He kicked 4, Modra got 3. Hodges now, of course, with Port Power. Umpire Tim Shearer gets us underway at the MCG. It's Brendan Gale to face Pittman. Gale gets a hand to it, but Visca for the Crows, and they're straight off into attack. James to full forward, crunch to the front. Snapping out of the pack, Cook, his first kick in league football, is smothered, but whipped away by Turner. And listen to the Richmond fans, very happy to see Scott Turner back at fullback for the Tigers.
Returning to the side, Drew, and he's got the job there, as you can see, with Barry Stanfield, and Gasper has the job on Modra.
So boundary throw in about 40 metres around from the Crows' goal. McCartney doing the ruck work in the forward line for Adelaide. It's a struggle 50 metres from the Crows' goal. Number 30 was Vardy, kicked forward by Bickley, high. Very, very ordinary kick to try and mark. Kicked away by Turner. His left knee has a bandage, or it looks like a cushion bandage over. And this is taken by Ryan. Ryan is at left half back for Richmond. He runs away from that position and then kicks to half forward, but a good mark taken by the athletic and very agile Ben Hart to Bickley. Bickley to full forward. The mark is taken there for the Crows by Stanfield.
Great piece of play there from Hart from half-back. Didn't waste any time, quite prepared to get on with the game, and when you're able to rebound as quickly as that from the half-back line, you're giving your forwards the best possible opportunity, and Stanfield was in the right spot, right in the true centre-half forward position.
He's been a handy transfer, hasn't he, Barry Stanfield? He kicked a few goals last week in the Crows' big win over the Lions, and he could kick the first goal of the game. Doesn't quite get onto it. It carries to the line. It's punched away by Gasper. Nearly picked off by Cook. He's rushed over the line. Gasper looking for the free kick. Umpire says throw it in.
It's been a good start by Tim Cook. He's had a couple of early possessions playing his first game, and was secured by the Crows in the swap with Port Power of Hodges and Darren Brown.
Gale wins the tap, and the ball is ripped out of there, out of defence, and over the boundary line at right half back, just beating Powell out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in. No score on the board as yet, and we've been playing 2¼ minutes. Weak sun starts to break through at the MCG now, but there are grey clouds around, looking as though they might produce some rain. Gale down to Campbell, kicked by Campbell to centre wing, close to the boundary line. And out it goes off Visca for a throw-in at centre wing in front of the southern stand. The crowd building up all the time. There was no early game here, so they pretty much got here at the last minute.
So the boundary umpire to throw it in, Gale and Pittman. Gale relishing this job as a responsible ruckman. The ball falls to Campbell. Campbell, who loves to carry the football, kicks towards full forward, and a diving effort effort by young Ben Holland. Charles now knocked out by Jamison. Handball over the top. The Crows defence working overtime. Bickley runs away, kicks it towards half forward. Good effort by young Ryan, and he's marked 2 grabs, but controlled it pretty well in the finish. Lovely hand pass out into the path there of Bowden. Bowden's kick towards half forward has been marked there by Powell. Powell's kick up towards full foot at the back. A great mark has been taken by Ben Holland, the brother of Nick Holland, who has really carved the niche for himself as a marking player for the Hawks. But this is a terrific effort by Holland, 5th in line.
Just so well judged, wasn't it? While the pushing and shoving was going on. And I think you've got to acknowledge the work that Richardson did there. He does attract the opposition players to him, and Holland had judged the fly of the ball so well.
Must kick the goal from 20 metres out straight in front, and he's popped it through. So the first goal of the game to the Tigers, and they lead 1 goal. Adelaide yet to score.
Well, both sides have had the opportunity. The Crows had a shot earlier, and this one here for Richmond, and they've both been as a result of the midfields and the half-back lines moving the ball on quickly. That's really got to be the flow. The conditions are ideal here. The surface is nice and firm, so players are able to generate a lot of run. So midfield's going to be critical in this issue here today.
See the height difference there between Holland and Jamison. Back in the middle, Tigers on the board with a goal to Holland. Bounce favours Pittman, but coming late was Gale to win it. Kept going forward by Charles inside the 50. Overrun Richardson, off the ground Campbell. Another chance for Holland. Jamison goes to ground. Campbell got a touch. Knocked up the ground.
Yep.
Snapped by Daffy, who was called a throw.
Yeah, the flick was too good. Robbo picked it up here very, very quickly. Just that double-handed push out, and really once the ball gets elevated from that situation, the umpire will always deem it as being a throw.
So Mark Visco will take the free for the Adelaide Crows. Towards the outer side, Edwards, new number this year, number 9. Kick by Edwards up towards centre wing. Gets to the back of the pack, gives Hart a chance. Short of the 50, McCartney. Great play by Burke, wearing his dad's old number 30, David Burke.
Taken away by Broderick. Handball back to Burke. Burke, who probably took one of the marks of the year last year. Holland handball too fierce for Miranda. Holland again. Burke. Geez, backed himself, David Burke. Miranda's kick towards full forward will be safely marked by Darren Jarman.
Jarman playing at half-back. Malcolm Blight has started him there. He's playing on Robbie Powell, the Richmond half-forward line. So a new role just at the moment for Darren Jarman.
One of the best players in the AFL, Darren Jarman. Lovely kick. Magnificent kick out there. And the mark has been taken by Williams. Williams is on centre wing for Adelaide. He's got a player in support, and it is Vardy. Vardy will run on and could deliver towards full forward in the Modra direction. Modra and Gasper, the ball carrying a little too far through the air there for those 2 players, and it goes over. Boundary throw in right forward pocket for Adelaide. The Crows have been into attack on a couple of occasions prior to this one. Still yet to score. Spoken about the weather conditions. Let's hope we get away with a rain-free day, as this just looks like being a great contest between these 2 teams. Williams, Bowden. Oh, gee whiz, there's some game players there just diving on the football. Wayne Campbell, and the umpire will bounce about 30 metres out from the Crows' goal. You can see there, current temperature 17 degrees and expected top 19.
Big pack around this ball up. Palmed out beautifully by Gale. Campbell, lightning hands. Turner, boundary line would do him. He's done well, Scott Turner.
And Drew, just some of the key matchups. Callaway is pitted up against Rashido. Rashido obviously a key to the Crows side, and Callaway has that job. And in the Richmond forward line, Nigel Smart at centre half back on Charles, and Ben Hart on Richardson.
Turner playing on Stanfield, with Modra being picked up by Gasper. Serve half forward for the Crows. Well, Campbell nearly got his fingers kicked off. Kicked by Connell inside 50. Stanfield. Well, Barry Stanfield kicked 5 last week against the Brisbane Lions, and great first up performance for the Crows. Today playing game 100 after notching 98 with Footscray. He played the first 3 of the year last year and waited all year for the 2 more to bring up his 100. And he had to wait till he's wearing new colours for the Adelaide Crows before playing game 100. Barry Stanfield, boy from Fish Creek. It's where the weed came from. Good looking kick. Yes, It's home, a goal. Scores level, a goal apiece.
Well, Barry Stanfield really has found a niche just in this opening part of the season with the Crows in the forward line. Generally regarded more as a backman in his time at Footscray, and most surprisingly it was on the footy trip away in Adelaide that he just walked in and asked the Crows whether they were interested, and from there it went on. A good pick-up for the Crows.
So at the MCG with 14 and a half minutes left in the first quarter, scores level, a goal apiece. Trying to knock it forward was Pittman. He's opposite ruckman there. Brendan Gale had 2 goes at it and eventually hacked it away from the congested centre. Struggle again for the Crows across half-back. Matthew Richardson doing reasonably well. Little handball into the path of Charles. His handball taken away by Connell. Quickly to half-forward. Well done, McCartney. Held his opponent Burke off with the left and marked it with the right. Handball to Rashudo. Rashudo down the ground. Long kick to the square. Punched away. Now the defender Gasper, but he's beaten for it by Barry Stanfield. He can't control it, and it's out of bounds.
That looks a good option on the forward line. Stanfield was back near the goal square with Modra offering the lead, so they've got alternatives.
And I think the two of them playing long enough together during the pre-season, it won't be the same player leading all the time.
From the throw-in, Stanfield caught behind. Gale wins it for the Tigers. It's flipped back. Stanfield been prominent early. Gets bowled over. Broderick. Bomb. Great tackle. Buried. Bowden couldn't get a clear possession. Here's Cook, the first gamer. Concede some ground to McCartney. Oh, not too good with that hand pass. Campbell for Richmond. Now Kellaway. The other number 3, Jarman. Off the ground, McCartney. Ball stays in the pocket, but just seen out by Turner, and we'll have a throw in about 20 metres around from the behind post.
Drew, you just called the 2 number 3s, Jarman and Kellaway. Jarman now has come ruck roving. Rashudo has gone back to half back.
So the ruck contest here is between Barry Stanfield and Michael Gale, Brendan Gale rather. Michael Gale, his brother, playing looks like about half back, maybe centre wing, and Brendan in the ruck. Campbell trying to break clear. Stanfield making it difficult and just locking it up for the Crows.
And Robbie Powell has just limped off, and Trent Nichols has come on into the Richmond forward line.
So there's the betting on this match. Richmond, well, they're odds-on favourites. There's a free kick. The umpire has decided that it will go to the Tigers, taken by Broderick. His short pass finds Campbell. Campbell can run on now. Poor marking there by Adelaide, and then a poor kick by Wayne Campbell, but it's going to be marked very nicely at half forward by Charles. What a revelation he was in the Brownlow medal last year. Naish's handball, dropped short, kicked, hacked out of there by Connell to half forward, safely marked by Gale. Handball to Bond. Bond goes across the ground. Charles onto Miranda. Go short, Justin. Oh, terrible kick. It clean bowls. Smart. Miranda the gather. Shot for goal by Mark Miranda is going to go very close. It's helped over for a rush behind to the Tigers.
Well, poetic justice there, because really the kick from Charles to Miranda was just so poor, and if they had have been able to turn that round and get a full score as a goal out of that particular piece of play, they would have been extremely lucky.
This man will be breathing easier. Well, it was smart, but Jamison kicks in, and Rashudo marks left half back, Southern stand side. Floats the hand pass over the top. Vardy to half forward. Burke punching from behind. Couldn't quite get the fist of the ball. Now he's got it at ground level. Taken away by Bowden. Got some toe, this youngster. Beautiful kick to Michael Gale, unmarked centre wing. The kick by Gale, not hitting the spot. Richardson on the bounce, a one-handed scoop in. Dive by Kellaway. Campbell, a good hand pass. Nick Daffy for the goal. Behind. Well, Michael Gale's kick from centre wing could have been better to Richardson.
Yes, but still a good build-up there. They're all moving, and perhaps the round the corner kick from Richardson isn't the best option there. Perhaps the more direct handball being fed back to Broderick, who would have been on his natural left-hand side, would have been far better. There we have Robbie Powell. He's the player who came off, just getting some manipulation from the physiotherapist on the boundary line.
Kick in by Ben Hart. It's a nice kick too, 60 metres. In front, Holland. Now chance for Daffy, very much a goal kicker for the Tigers. He's hooked. Oh, yes! What a mark by Chris Naish. Don't the crowd love that sort of thing in Australian football?
It's a great great leap by Littleblood.
It is, and it's not often you see Chris Nash do this, do you? I mean, he's more the crummer at the feet of the pack, but up he goes and eyes on the ball all the way. Great effort.
You little beauty.
Yes.
Chris Nash from about 20 metres out, slight angle. He caps it off, he gets the goal. Great Aussie football that. And the crowd here, the Richmond fans, well, surely they will outnumber the Adelaide Crows fans, which we come to expect, but gee, they're here in throngs at the MCG to watch their mighty Tigers against the Crows.
And if the small players in the Richmond forward line are going to be able to act like tools and take marks like this, well, really Richmond have a lot of confidence now just to be able to get the ball down quickly. Long direct kicks gives everybody an opportunity.
Well, Chris Nash was 2 or 3 feet over Justin Charles then, so some sort of a leap. Back in the middle, Gale charges at Pittman and wins again. Comes to Michael Gale. The Gale boys combining. Now Campbell should kick a goal. Perfect. Well, they're looking an irresistible force early, the Tigers.
They certainly are. I mean, just for Campbell then to be able to create sufficient space to come up. Big Brendan Gale has been very good in the ruck work there. Just a good clear leap, getting the ball over the inner congestion around the centre bounce. Gale and Campbell, the two wingers, in hard, in quickly into the centre bounce, able to combine, and a great goal there from Campbell.
He's had a bit of the footy already, Wayne Campbell, 8 possessions. 3-2 to a goal. Richmond lead by 14 points. Ruck contest. This time Pittman gets his hand on it. James, now taken away by Cook. His kick towards full forward. Terrific mark. Fantastic mark taken by young Ryan. Damien Ryan wearing number 37. And he's got the football for the Tigers across half-back. Looking to give the hand pass away. No, decides on a kick to Campbell. Campbell's got a player in support. It's Callaway. Handball over the top. Good support running provided by Nash. And he's got a little bit of free rein in front of himself. Goes with the left foot. Kicks towards centre forward. Richmond mark. Yes, it is. Taken by Richardson. Looks to play on. Now is forced to kick with the left. Into a vacant area. Nearly taken by Nichols. Beaten for it by Rashuto. Rashuto's kick is a floater. It will be marked for Richmond by Michael Gale. Handball over the top. Nash. Get rid of it quickly. He does. With the right foot. To half forward. Charles misjudges. Taken by Smart. Connell. Now Jamison. Runs away from half back. Kicks towards the centre of the ground. Just clean bowls, McCartney, but he does well. The little tap was a beauty to Bickley. Bickley's pass is excellent. Just weighted perfectly for Modra, and he's marked about 40 metres out.
Had to take it flat out on the burst, received the handball, then on the left foot. Just as you called, Robert, just giving it enough weight there, enough air, just to be able to lull right into the space into which Modra was leading.
So Tony Modra going for Adelaide's second goal. They trail at the moment by 14 points. They trail now by only 8. Modra kicks his first goal. The other goal kicker for Adelaide is Barry Stanfield. For Richmond, goals to Nash, Campbell and Ben Holland.
Well, the Adelaide defence was under a lot of pressure there, and I think Richmond turned it over perhaps a little bit too easily, but that is directly as a result of the pressure that the Crows were putting on there. Got to centre half forward. Good play by McCartney just to keep the ball alive, and the little flip onto Bickley, and then Bickley to Modra. A good combination, well worked out, right down from one end of the ground to the other for a great goal.
Barry Stanfield's coming off the ground here. Blood rule, I'd suggest. And he's going to be replaced by Kane Johnson, who played 2 games last year in his debut season. I wonder whether that'll make a difference to Adelaide's forward setup, because it's worked really well, Modra and Stanfield so far. Hopefully Stanfield won't be off long. Back in the middle. Crows back to within 8 points. Gale. Beautiful palm down to Broderick. Out of the centre. Past Richardson it goes. Miranda tries to get rid of his man. He's got the footy. Kicked by Miranda across the face. Still with Nash, but he couldn't control it. The ball out of play. Neil Kerley on Powell.
Yes, he got a lower back injury. He looked in some pain when he came off. The physio has been working on him, so we'll have to see how that settles down.
Chance for the Tigers. Throw in the forward pocket. Charles, number 15, gets it goalwards. Miranda missed it. Smart the hand pass. Darren Jarman to the centre of the ground. McLeod. Bond put him under pressure. Comes back to Bond. Now Michael Gale. He couldn't get away from Connell. Well done by Matty Connell. And now, holding the ball, Brett James. He was spun around a couple of times in the tackle. And Richmond's free. Quickly by hand. Hurriedly the kick by Nichols to the goal square. And the mark in the last line by Hart.
Well done by player who really wanted the ball there, wasn't he?
Terrific stuff, yeah. This is Edwards coming away from the full back line. His kick is short to Connell. Connell goes to the wing. He was enough of a nuisance there, David Burke, but they overran it eventually, he and McCartney, and Smart got back, and then McCartney's kick to half forward is disappointing, I would suggest, from an Adelaide's point of view. Kick by Bowden, back towards the wing. Again, it's an awkward bounce. Gathered by Connell, hand pass, Rashudo. Well, that player really wasn't in the clear, David Pittman, and he's been taken out of it by Gale. Handball to Naish. Umpire sees that as out of bounds, and it will be thrown in on centre wing.
Naish wasn't in the clear either. He didn't want it then.
Yes, it was pretty difficult footy to get into the clear, really. It's just forward of centre wing for Adelaide. 3-2 the Tigers, 2 goals the Crows. No multiple goal scorers as yet. Matt Connell tries to knock it clear. Michael Gale caught with a footy, but somehow nearly shrugged his way out of it. Good effort there by James. He was on his backside. Not really much you can do from that situation, but eventually gathered the ball and held it up. Stanfield back into the fray and Johnson back off the ground. And for Richmond, they've made a change too. Looks like Manfield, is it, that's onto the ground at the expense of Charles.
Ball up near centre wing. Pittman for the Crows. Ball shuffled out. Nichols for the Tigers. He's back there. He started there last decade. Trent Nichols from 52 metres. Terrific kick for a goal.
Well, that's what a half-forward flanker should do. Robbie Powell, one of the smalls in the forward line, is off the ground. Nichols comes on with his opportunity. What you've got to watch here is Matt Manfield. He does the shepherding that sets this whole thing up here. Goes in, deliberately takes that Crows player out of the play, allowing Nichols a free run, sufficient room to be able to settle down and deliver the ball so accurately to the goal square. A good combination work there between those two boys.
Well, I'll go on record as saying that he is one of the best kicks on the run, Trent Nichols. He gets good penetration and he still keeps his accuracy, and that was a brilliant kick for Richmond's 4th goal. They get it forward again. It's Nichols, prominent, to half forward. The mark taken by Richardson in front of Ben Hart. Now, would he have a height advantage there? You would have to think that Matthew Richardson's a little taller.
Yeah, quite a bit, I'd suggest. And really, nearly going to look at just rolling them over, Smart and Hart. Smart at the moment has Charles, and Hart really just jumps as high as he can do, but really can't buy enough inches in order to spoil here.
Distance could be a bit of a worry here for Matthew Richardson. He gets under the drop punt and it lands right on the goal line, and it's a mark. Brendan Gale, no, play on. Miranda trying to get his foot to it, unsuccessful. So the umpire will throw it in the air right in Richmond's goal square. Opportunity for the Tigers to get their 5th. They lead at the moment 4-2 to 2 goals. Umpire right on the end of the square. Brendan Gale. Campbell off the ground, scores it behind.
Robert, just in the lead up to the game, Neil Kerley mentioned the height of the Richmond forward line and the lack of tall players in the Crows' defence, and unfortunately from a Crows perspective, that's starting to look to be the most dangerous aspect of the Tigers' side.
7 scoring shots to 2. Plenty of football on Richmond's forward line. Michael Gale has the hand pass blocked. Kellaway did well around the corner to the pocket. Richardson caught behind. He's just gone straight to ground, Jamison. And the crowd want holding the ball. And I think they've got a case.
A few black and yellow streamers and banners down there, up there in that corner.
Now, he hasn't kicked it, he hasn't hand passed it. He's tucked it under the wing. That is holding the ball.
Well, the central umpire in that area of the ground giving the Crows defender Jamison the benefit of the doubt. Here's Nichols again. He'll get around. He nearly kick another one here, Trent Nichols. He is a beautiful kick on the run. That's a great kick and a goal. He just lacks maybe, if there's any criticism, he just lacks maybe a half a yard in pace, but by gee, he's a very skillful player.
Yeah, in the comparison to, say, a Chris Nash, you'd think Nash would have him over a 20-metre burst, but really just the presence of mind there, just to be able to buy that little extra time and space, stepping around the opponent, knowing that he was clear on the left, really. Jarman, I'm not sure whether that's a real good matchup just at the moment. Jarman will be looking to get a few possessions himself. What they need now is someone who can shut Nichols down completely.
Well, he did start on the bench and he's kicked 2 goals, so his contribution in the first term is very good.
You picked him well, Robbo. Top kick for goal. Prosciutto out of the middle to Bickley. Hasn't cleared the centre square with this one. Bond almost a great mark. McLeod. Almost a blind hand pass, run onto by James to full forward. Stanfield. Good punch by Turner. In the path of Cook, the first gamer. And he's kicked it well for a goal. Tim Cook. Three kicks in his first quarter of league football. He gets his first goal. It's 5-3 to 3 goals.
And in actual fact, he's looked quite good in everything that he's done. Unfortunate here for the Tigers defence. Scotty Turner does the right thing and spoils, but Tim Cook put himself in the right position. When defenders are jumping from behind and spoiling, more often than not, she's pretty much straight down the middle there. They try to the boundary, not always get it. Right spot for the right man.
5-3 to 3 goals. Richmond lead by 15 points. Ruck contest, Pittman, now James. Tries to get the hand pass away. He gets a chance to kick it out of the congested area. Good punch away there by Bond. The ball at half forward for the Crows, taken by Bowden, and well done. He looks like a natural left footer, does Joel Bowden, and that was with the right foot, and he found Daffy wide at half back. Daffy's kick to the wing, punched away by Prosciutto from Callaway, over for a boundary throw-in.
And he's just 18 years of age, Joel Bowden, son of Mike, who played in the 1969 Premiership side, but really looks the goods, just a youngster.
And the same number 11, that his father wore. So the Tigers, well, they've got 3 or 4, haven't they, on their list that are sons of former players, and it's great to see them playing in their father's old numbers. This is Daffy, his kick. Miranda does well to make it awkward for Edwards. Kick by Nash, little kick. What's he done? Oh, what a great effort. He was being harassed by his opponent, Ben Hart, but he's just dragged it in as Matthew Richardson, and he'll kick from about 11 metres out, directly in front.
This is a very good mark. You've just got to see, I mean, Hart's doing everything he can here, but Richardson just eyes on the ball, has Hart held out with the left-hand side of his body, claims the ball with his right.
Well, it'll be Matthews Richardson's first goal, and he's kicked it. So Matthew Richardson becomes Richmond's 5th goal kicker. Nichols has kicked 2. Ben Holland, Richardson, Campbell and Nash have kicked 1 each. And for the Crows, Cook, Modra and Stanfield.
Well, this is just straight out talent from Richardson. There's no more that Ben Hart could do there, other than being on the inside of the actual contest, but was caught out with the speed at which the ball came in from Miranda. You can see the height advantage there that Richardson has. You know, he'll take the full use of that, whether it's in the air in a marking contest or just the superior body strength he has because he's just a bigger man.
We hear that Robert Powell will take no further part in the game with his back injury. Pittman wins in the middle. Broderick chops it off for the Tigers. Now some heavy work before it spills to Bond. Chris Bond wide. Richardson again. What an athlete this man is. He's on an All-Australian Ben Hart. Well played by Richardson. Nash a chance. Terrific stuff by the Tigers. Hand pass by Nash to Holland. 40 metres from goal. He leaves it for Nichols. Campbell a great first quarter. Miranda one out. Michael Gale there. Miranda hits the post.
A great piece of shepherding there as well. Wasn't it a great contest there between Edwards and Miranda? May have been lucky to get away Miranda without giving a free kick away. You could see the jumper being pulled on Edwards from behind, but the numbers of the Tigers running at the ball gave them the chance.
Oh, short kick in, was touched by Nichols, which was an important interception there. So the Crows' defence is under enormous pressure. Richmond just have a lovely little mix, don't they? 2 or 3 talls and a couple of plumbers in Nash and Daffy and Nichols, causing a lot of problems for the Adelaide defence at this stage. 6-4 to 3 goals. So the margin, 22 points in favour of Richmond. Holland and Pittman. 2 number 3s, Callaway for Richmond, Jarman for the Crows. And the umpire to bounce. It's about 40 metres from Richmond's goal. Pittman tries to, well, knock it for safety, I guess, and the Crows trainer. Just a bit of fancy footwork there, nearly being run down. Wayne Campbell has been good, 11 possessions. Boundary throw in, 40 metres from Richmond's goal. Pittman from behind, gets his hand on it. Callaway leaves it behind. Miranda, dragged down by Jarman. Snapshot for the Tigers, came from that right forward pocket, and it came from Naish, just to behind, but still, those little crummers for the Tigers.
It's just looking so dangerous when there's 11 effective scoring shots on the ball already for Richmond, as against just 3 for Adelaide, and they got them quite early, Adelaide, so it's been a long time since they've been up forward to have a real chance.
Jamieson thumps it long. Oh, what a mark by Holland. They've got some marking power on the forward line. Campbell to Daffy. Nick Daffy's kick offline. Out on the full as it hit the behind post on the full. 2 long hairs combining there. And on the other side of the coin we have Rod Jamieson and Nigel Smart, who have no hair.
Well, this is Mark Visca with the footy. Goes close to the boundary line, and the mark there is taken by Rashuto for Adelaide. He's still in the defensive 50-metre area from an Adelaide viewpoint. Been a consistent performer since making his debut for the Crows as a teenager, Mark Rashuto. His kick will land close to the wing. High flyer was Richardson, taken by Michael Gale, gathered by Campbell, and his hand pass just smothered enough there by Matt Connell to force a boundary throw in. Forward of centre wing for Richmond.
I think, Robert, the thing that will disappoint Malcolm Bligh just at the moment is just right in the contest, right around the ball, the Crows aren't working as hard at the footy as the Richmond players are.
Well, still Richmond at ground level. Darren Jarman, gee, did he disguise that? I wouldn't have thought so.
No, and I think that's a bad sign. It looks a very defeatist type move at this stage. I know we're only down to under 2 minutes left in this last quarter, but if you want to inspire your side, you've got to be able to really take an attacking frame of mind into it. Darren didn't have one then.
Boundary umpire throws it in. The ruck contest, Pittman at the back. Darren Jarman scragged as he kicks, and it was well done by, was it Callaway, forced Jarman's kick to go out on the full. So those statistics don't really register, but it's certainly going to help the Tigers. Now Gale, this is Brendan, a big kick to the square. At the back, Miranda, oh, what a leap at that by Matthew Richardson. We have just been entertained here in the first term by a young, enthusiastic, fast-running, crumbing Richmond side.
It's just, it's all laid out here for him today. The conditions are ideal. His opponents are all, 4 or 5 inches too short. This could be a big day for Richo.
From the end of the square, he kicks for goal and he's put his second through. Matthew Richardson 2 goals, Trent Nichols 2 goals. The only multiple goal kickers at this stage. Richmond 7-5, Adelaide 3 straight. The margin 29 points.
And so where does Adelaide now find these tall defenders? They're not going to be able to put them on a rack at the quarter time and stretch them. They're going to have to just keep pushing. Pittman does get back there, tries to make a bit of a contest, in actual fact end up being the step ladder on this occasion. But I think that's what he needs to do more of. But then the cost is going to be Brendan Gale running around loose.
Well, this is awesome. 12 scoring shots to 3. We're in the last minute of the first quarter. There's time left for Richmond to get more. It's knocked out of the air. Goes Tigers' way, palmed on by Richardson. Smart for the Crows. Now Vardy. Vardy up towards half forward to Stanfield. Good discipline, spoil from behind. But great play at the front by James. Kick wide, McCartney. Maybe the Crows can nab one before the siren. McCartney gone in a good tackle. Play on rules the umpire. Broderick back there. Oh, what a player.
Class.
And look at the kick by Broderick. Maybe the Tigers can get one more. Callaway wide. Ryan. No penetration. A shocking kick by Ryan. Straight to the opposition. And marked by Chad Rintoul. Made his debut last week. Ex-West Australian. In he comes to Stanfield. Now to the 50. and the mark's taken as we tick away with 10 seconds left in the quarter. This would just about have to be a goal from Brent Williams. Crows need it. And now he knows he has to kick it. Brent Williams made his debut last week with 14 possessions. He's taken in the 95 draft from the Paran Dragons. A boy from Melbourne playing for the Adelaide Crows. He'll need to kick it nearly 55 metres. He's gone the torp and hasn't made it. So what a quarter for the Tigers. 12 scoring shots to 3, and they lead 7-5 to 3 goals. Robbie Walsh, you'd have to be happy with that.
Oh, undoubtedly, you know, Robert really, you know, most experienced coach. His second year with the Tigers, 16th year as an AFL coach, but he'd have to be very, very pleased with what he's seen. His defence has been very soundly led by Scotty Turner, but 2 young players. One there he's got now, Damien Ryan, has done a very good job. David Burke also across half-back. Midfield working well, and then the forward line looking just ever so potent.
So the score again as Malcolm Blight comes out to greet his charges. Well, he has to do something now. Richmond 7-5, Adelaide 3 goals. What a great first term by the Tigers. 7-5-47 to 3 goals. Richardson got 2 and Trent Nichols got 2 in the first quarter. Goal scorers for Adelaide, Tim Cook on debut, Modra has 1 and Stanfield has 1. And Malcolm Blight delivered a few bakes to some of his players at quarter time. It was a lot easier in the commentary box, Malcolm. Now, 2 other games being played today in Melbourne. And we can bring you up to date. The West Coast Eagles leading Geelong 3-1 to 6 behind. Phil Matera's got a goal. McIntosh 2 for the Eagles and was off injured after a head clash with Brent Sanderson, who's also gone off. And Maine Waring is also off in the first quarter on a stretcher. High attrition rate. Bulldogs 1-3. Sydney 4 goals 4. For the Bulldogs, Minton Connell their goal. And for Sydney, Grant, O'Brien, Garlick and Mooney.
Second term about to start here at the MCG. Richmond a very handy lead. Charles up high, gets first touch. Miranda out of the centre, knocked away by Smart. Chance for Nigel Smart once again. Just dumped unceremoniously there by young Holland. The kick to full forward has been taken by Edwards. Edwards plays on. Kick out wide, Jamison's taken a good mark. And then kicked it quite nicely down towards the wing into the path of Vardy. Vardy, nice bounce for that player. Then Williams from the wing, good kick too. Marcus taken by McCartney. He gets back instead of trying to wrestle there. Can move it forward quickly for the Crows, and it must be an advantage for Tony Modra. McCartney kicks into the man of the mark. Well, dear me. Vardy may gather. Awkward bounce, well done by David Burke. Knocked forward by Vardy. McCartney can't control it. And the Richmond fans down here in front of where David Burke has hurt himself. He's hurt himself. Might be a wrist injury, is it? Gee whiz, that's Chris Bradshaw, their doctor. Oh dear, that doesn't look too good, does it?
Shoulder.
Campbell kicks it high. Quickly, Burke is off the ground. The mark taken by Jarman, who looked as though he may have been on the end of a Malcolm Blight tirade at quarter time. He kicks forward, Jaron Jarman, straight to the opposition. Mark quite simply taken by Joel Bowden. Runs away from the half-back line.
Kicked by Bowden. Oh, beautifully picks off Charles. Charles draws a man. Michael Gale in a hectare out on the outer wing. Oh, this is perfect by the Tigers. Manfield. Further man unmarked is Daffy in the pocket. Has to go over his shoulder. Richardson. Richardson's taken 5 marks already.
But just the linking up here. Daffy nice and quick to get it on. Richardson, right spot, being in front of the opponent at all times. Allowed now to take an easy one on the chest.
For goal number 3. No, I don't think so. Yes, he got it! The goal umpire was one of the few in that area who thought it was a goal.
Well, he's undoubtedly the thorn in the side. He's kicked the last of 3 consecutive goals for Richmond. The last 2 of the first quarter, and then this one to open the second quarter. Justin Charles in the ruck for the start of this term. Brendan Gale into the forward line. So Robert Walls is able to toss his players around and continually stretch the shorter Adelaide defence, this time with Gale and Richardson down there.
Gee, that's a big margin now, isn't it? 35 points. The Crows really not getting enough of the football. Justin Charles gets it down. Hand pass by Manfield once again. The crummer is Campbell. Campbell's kick to the square. Marking contest, punched away from Brendan Gale, who looks as though he's having a spell. Naish couldn't quite get to it. Goes over for a throw-in. Just got too many tall players, Richmond. Too many tall agiles.
They have. Malcolm Blighty's got Pittman on the bench at the moment. He's got Stanfield doing the ruck work. This particular one will be done by McCartney, but Stanfield's running around the midfield. Really, he's just now trying to get as big a players as he can in the middle of the ground.
Kicked away by Vardy, but it's only as far as Broderick. Broderick is marked. He is at half forward. He kicks in towards centre half forward where Charles is marked. Just spoke about his Brownlow medal performance from last year. It was surprising, but obviously comes under notice.
Well, I mean, 5 times, sorry, 3-vote games, and one of them was against the Crows here last year.
What about this kick? It's a magnificent kick. It's a goal. Well, that ball must have travelled at least 55 metres. It's gone over the players at the goalpost, and he kicked it from the 50-metre line, maybe just outside. We'll have another look at where he gets the ball.
But yeah, it's a good, strong kick, isn't it? It's a kick that just shows authority in the game. He knew he could do it, went back and just went bang. Great effort from Charles.
The Tigers have kicked 6 out of the last 7 goals. And look at this lead now, 41 points. Charles wins in the middle. Michael Gale to Campbell, leading possession winner in the first quarter. Slipped over on a length on the cricket pitch. Prosciutto, smart, great tackle. Bowden absolutely cleaned him up. The umpire said a little bit high. He's given away the free, but he'll feel it for about half an hour, Nigel Smart. Now, Neil Kerley, I know you've got a lot to say. We'll wait till it goes out of bounds away from goals. Modra. And this one's out of bounds. I think we'll come to you now.
Yeah, David Pittman has a problem with a kick in the calf. He's got more problem too. His ears are still melting. And also, young Burke has an AC joint problem. He could be in doubt for the rest of the game.
If Burke did that in the first smother, what a courageous performance, because he went on for the second and third efforts.
I was just thinking Robbo, who was calling at the time, could quite easily have called Francis Burke. Yeah, it just was really there, wasn't it? You know, Francis had that real attitude of, there's the footy, I'm going to go and get it. And you know, it's taken a while for David to display that attitude. He's been questioned on many occasions by the hierarchy at the club, but that was a great example.
Real mess up here. No breathing space. Close to the boundary line. Well done, Ryan, number 37. Bond, number 35. And that will be a baller. And also, Curls, how close were you to Blighty at quarter time?
Well, he just had a bit of a chat as he was walking past, and I know exactly what he meant.
Well, it's a pity we can't elaborate on that, but I'm sure that, Malcolm Blight wouldn't have been very pleased with his team's first quarter performance. At quarter time, Richmond led 7-5 to 3 goals. They've kicked 2 goals so far in the second term to lead 9-5 to Adelaide 3 goals. So still not much happening from the Crows' point of view. They're in their forward area now, and Ormond Allen gathers the football. It's out of bounds. I'll tell you what, no, his shot for goal was, well, offline in the finish, but Trent Ormond Allen, number 21, formerly with the Demons.
originally came across from Port Adelaide, and now with the Adelaide Crows. So the boundary umpire to throw it in. It's about 40 metres around from Adelaide's goal. They certainly need a succession of goals, at least 3, to give them some sort of a morale boost, you would think. They're flagging badly. This is Charles, awarded the free kick out of the ruck contest. Kicks long, fairly direct out towards the wing, punched away from Ben Holland, gathered by Stanfield, dispossessed, falls to Michael Gale. Michael Gale's left foot kick to half forward, punched away by Darren Jarman. It rebounds back in the direction of Callaway. Too high, was it? Michael Gale. The advantage has been paid to Richmond. Richmond up towards half forward. Oh well, Matthew Richardson, he would be a little disappointed there, I would think. He looked at the umpire, maybe requesting or looking for the free kick for a holding decision, but it spilled over for a boundary throw-in. Ben Hart manning up on Matthew Richardson. What a big job he's got. Boundary throw-in, Stanfield, the 216, Stanfield and Ben Holland. Just clean bowls the players there. Brett James comes away with the footy for the Crows. He's kicked to half forward. Richmond players just mess each other up there. Damien Ryan, now Nigel Smart. Little kick by Cook. Goes close to the line. Michael Gale, he's a scrounger, isn't he? Trent Allen forces him over for a boundary throw-in. Right half forward for the Crows, about 65 to 70 metres around from their goal.
We just had a few spits of rain, didn't last very long. But grey and overcast here at the MCG. Round 2 action. What stars on show. Charles gets it down. Bickley's high ball towards the 50. Rashuta. Excellent mark, same direction as the ball. Richmond fans aren't too happy, but that's a dead set mark. Mark Rashuto from outside the 50 and not far in from the boundary line.
Well, they haven't got inside 50 too often. Drew the actual count here at the moment. Richmond 30 times inside 50, Adelaide just 16. Searching now for 17.
Well, statistically, Richmond are dominating the game.
Well, Modra's outside the field of play behind the goal line, and his opponent going face to face with him as the kick brings up a minor score from Rashuto. That was interesting. Modra was closer to the fence than he was to the footy field, and Gaspar had his back to the kicker.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's real. I mean, I guess Tony Modra is also now starting to lose confidence in his players' ability to direct the ball down to him, and he's falling back now into waiting to go for a big jump.
Scotty Turner, the long kick, been safely marked by Charles. Now, he did spend a bit of the first term on the bench, did Justin Charles, but by gee, in this second term, he's had a fair bit of the footy. Ruck work in the centre, and a few marks and kicks around the ground. His hand pass just sets it up for Michael Gale. Little kick to the wing has been marked by Rogers. Rogers has been on the bench for the first quarter and the early part of this second term. Rogers, his kick towards half forward. Richardson punched away. This is Connell for Adelaide. Kick across his left shoulder. Will be marked quite safely by Charles.
This is a domination of the two big men. It was Brendan Gale in the first quarter, Charles in this second quarter. The Rucks have really got the sway for Richmond.
6 marks, 9 possessions, 3 hit-outs to Justin Charles. This is Jamison for Adelaide. Across half-back. Gee whiz, there's just nothing happening, is there? Look at the look on Rod Jamison's face. He's looked all over the ground to see if he could kick it to someone, to the Crows' advantage.
It's 108 disposals now to something like 76.
Well, he had to kick to a just a one-on-one situation. Richmond punching the ball away, but a free kick has been just picked down here. It will go to Adelaide, and it might be Visca. Visca with the football between right half-back and centre wing. Still defending Adelaide. They've only kicked it behind in this second term so far, and it's a long time between drinks from a goal-kicking point of view from the Crows. They kicked something like 24 goals, I think it was, last week against 20 goals last week against Brisbane. They only kicked 3 goals so far. We're halfway through the second term, so it's a real struggle for the Crows at the MCG in this match against the Tigers.
Boundary throw in, Stanfield number 16. James working pretty well. Bickley gets boot the ball. Now they've lost it. Naish. Campbell. They don't mind working at both ends of the ground. This is behind half-back. Gaspar running off Modra. Draws the man. On his own is Turner. He's up near centre wing, Scott Turner. Away from Ararat. The kick to half forward. Miranda the only chance for the Tigers. Richardson in support. Miranda went outside the boundary line, came back in, but Jarman chops it off. Rintoul. Rasciuto goes past Bickley, but it comes back to Bickley. Very wide out in the pocket to Cook, the first gamer. Nigel Smart, a new role for him. Ball, say the crowd. Down goes James. Ryan, number 37. Campbell's been fantastic. Finds Ryan. This youngster who debuted last year. Into Kellaway. To half forward. Some jostling going on, making a clear path for Visca.
You know you're going all right when it looks as though you've got one or two extra on the ground, don't you? And that appears to be the case here as far as Richmond are concerned. James with the footy in the centre, kicks to Vardy. Vardy gets past and then kicks blindly towards full forward. Not much chop there for Modra. Knocked away by Bowden. Back to Nigel Smart. The kick by Nigel Smart. Gee, it's good for distance. Didn't quite have the accuracy. That through for the Crows, second behind of the game. They're 3-2-20, trailing Richmond 9-5-59. The margin 39 points. So it's comfortable so far for the Tigers. Just 3 single goal kickers for Adelaide. Tim Cook, Modra and Barry Stanfield. Kick in by Turner. Well outside 50. Not clear. At the back, Naish. Just seems to be always 3 or 4 at the fall of the ball for Richmond. Naish back onto his right foot. Kicker's all right and finds Kellaway. Back he goes. Nichols on the run. Kicks with the right foot. Gee, it's not a bad kick. Oh, right on the line. It's been taken over. Second grab by Ben Holland. And through for a behind to Richmond.
Richmond are just using the ball so much better as they come forward. When they run off half-back as a result of getting numbers back there, they're ready to exchange it either by foot or hand, and they are just doing it so much better at the moment than the Crows are able to.
And that behind was Richmond's first score since the 4-minute mark. We're now at the 14-minute mark. Here's Connell down the southern stand wing. Long to the 50. Reef to the back. Smart defence to the forward line. Socket out of his hands by Campbell. That was clever by Campbell if he's got it out. Rintoul though, a centering kick. Smart, taken high, free kick right in front.
Yeah, I don't think there's much doubt about that. It'll be disappointing for young Joel Bowden. He went for the right option there to spoil, but did come over the shoulder of Nigel Smart. Blighton setting up his forward line structure now really is just looking for a senior player to take some responsibility and some leadership qualities down there. He's asked Nigel Smart to be that player at this stage.
So Rintoul did well then to keep the ball in and centre in the direction of Smart. Rintoul, a 22-year-old who made his debut last week, represented Western Australia in state footy. Now Nigel Smart for the Crows' 4th goal. He's got it.
Well, it's been certainly a long time between drinks for them. Their ability, the Crows' ability, they've been able to pick up a few possessions through midfield here, but not able to finish anything off at all. Barry Stanfield is in the ruck now, having a quiet day, and in actual fact with Pittman on the bench, it's down to Modra, it's down to Smart now to be hard at the ball in the contest.
Well, Richmond have made another change. Manfield is back onto the ground. I didn't quite notice who was that went to the bench.
Miranda.
Well done by Stanfield, but can't clear the centre. Still trying to make an effort there, Barry Stanfield. Williams just getting it to James, but not before the umpire had blown his whistle. So there will be a ball up.
Miranda off with 6 possessions, but importantly, no goals.
Stanfield and Charles, well, they might have played a bit of footy together at Footscray, wouldn't they? Justin Charles and Barry Stanfield. Brett James tackled by Broderick, and nothing Brett James could do, so the umpire to repeat the dose. Pretty much the same area as the last couple of ruck contests. Charles has been quite dominant. Gets his left hand to it again and forces it forward. Only as far there as Visca. Now Jamison receiving across half-back. Hand pass. Well done by Williams. Back to Rashudo. Rashudo's high kick will land at centre half forward for Adelaide. Difficult ball to mark. The umpire's picked the free kick out. It's going to Adelaide, and well, being moved there to the forward line has been a bit of a plus for Nigel Smart. He's had a few possessions, just livened it up a little bit. And he's going to kick from 50 metres. Opportunity for his second goal, and the Crows' fifth. It could bring them back to within 26 points.
Pretty soft call, I think, from the umpire.
Nigel Smart gets a nice long kick. I think it's a goal. It's carried the players on the line. So the Tiger supporters not happy with that decision, but a goal to Nigel Smart just gets Adelaide that little bit closer. 9-6 to 5-2. The margin is 28 points.
Yeah, there was no doubt about his first free kick and the first goal that Nigel Smart got a little earlier in this quarter against Joel Bowden. This one I'm not too sure about the interference here whatsoever. It's just a bit of a push there, and you see both hands from Bowden go up and do a double fisted ball. But be that as it may, Nigel Smart took hold of the opportunity. It was very, very important as we're down now to only 8 minutes to go in this set in the first half here that he did get that goal. Very good work.
Smart 5 kicks, 3 of them frees and 2 of them goals. Rogers just on the ground. Richardson underneath this one. And the mark taken by Visca. McCartney's gone back. Jarman just behind the wing. He's got a paddock out there, Darren Jarman. All-Australian last year. For the third time. Is kicked to Modra. Under pressure from Gasper. Gasper wins the footy and then has it reaped out of his hands. Close to the boundary line. Well done by Ryan. Looks like a spindle, but plays all right. Broderick. Gale. And the ball out of play.
You can see right there now between Michael Gale and Matt Connell, just the difference, I think, between the two sides. Look how hard the Richmond player looks physically. He's so much bigger, he's so much stronger, he's more aggressive at the ball just at the moment. I think that's just where the Crows are falling down.
Michael Gale, part of his preparation for football is ballet lessons. But not too many of his opponents have had that. That's correct. Back towards the centre. Oh, easy mark dropped by Cook. His debut's been all right, but that was a real shocker. Connell. Kick by Connell. Back to the centre of the ground. Oh, it bounces off Rogers. They've turned it up. Jarman. Play on, says the umpire. Big leap down there by Burke to punch away. It comes Adelaide's way. Jamison. Defenders have become forwards. Kick by James. It was a heading for Modra, but just chopped off. Bowden goes off the ground.
Did very well there, Joel Bowden. Took the percentages. Stanfield's little handball. Nigel Smart. Kick across his body. Is good. It'll land in the square. Bickley gets the goal. Well, an appeal here for a touch. Well, as far as Wayne Campbell was concerned, he wasn't all that convincing, but Bickley has kicked the Crows' 6th goal, and all of a sudden, just Richmond taking their foot off the pedal a little bit. Adelaide getting a sniff, are back within, what is it now, 22 points, 60 plays 38.
And I think most coaches would identify a run on as 3 consecutive goals. Now Adelaide have got those 3 consecutive goals now, so this centre bounce here, if Adelaide can take it and get a score.
Back in the middle, 3 goals in 5 minutes now to the Crows, and back they come. Jarman gets it out of the middle. I like him there better than where he was in the first quarter. On for Richmond. Short pass to Nichols. 60 plays 38, 22 points the margin. Brendan Gale to Rogers. The kick by Rogers inside the 50. Excellent mark taken on the run by Edwards. The Crows have lifted, and look at this. On his own is Williams. 55 metres out. Modra couldn't quite take the mark. Well done by Ryan to get back and foil them on the last line.
Gee, they've got a couple of just, what would you call them, unfashionable types, haven't they? Joel Bowden, young Ryan. They just keep on having a bit of a dip. Callaway's in that mould as well. So Robert Walls, he's got a terrific blend. Some quite spectacular players, as well as those players that just do their job. Broderick forces it forward. As far as Michael Gale, the hand pass, wonder whether he was looking for Paul Broderick, but he got it. Now Campbell just delivers from only about a 2-metre lead up. Oh, Charles, well done to Miranda. Miranda, handball, sets it up. Daffy, from about 30 metres, Nick Daffy kicks the goal. But there are a few players involved in that. It came all the way from probably half-back where Campbell, from about a 2-metre set, kicked it away, and eventually, maybe a little bit of good fortune there.
But what it has, Rob, is got the players being all prepared to run. Both you and Drew have called throughout the game Richmond's ability to push back into defence. Half-forwards are getting up the half-back line, wingers are getting right back, and then being able to run on down. And Daffy there on the end of something does look a lot stronger this year. He's really hard at it.
Build up.
Very good work. 5 goals last week, 1 already today.
Well, that arrested the Crows' comeback. They kicked 3 in a row until then. Now Stanfield out of the centre circle. Bowden gets back, giving away a couple of frees and a couple of goals this quarter. He's given away a hand pass. He has to go and get it himself. Get it to the line, son. Crows keep it in. Smart has been a good forward in the last 5 minutes. McLeod just back on the ground. Rashudo 51 metres out. Modra with the sit. Off hands, Rintoul. Offline, behind.
Well, you just wonder what's happened in this game in the last 6 or 7 minutes, don't you? I mean, Richmond looked as though they were just charging away.
Yeah, but there's been some players step back at Bickley. Jamison, Rashudo got a little bit harder.
This
Smart
too.
giving them something. Jamison.
Jarman as well has been probably a key player in the last few minutes. Bickley kicked a goal for Adelaide. He's got the ball about 50 metres from goal directly in front. Quite know whether Mark Bickley's got the kicking ability to get the distance here, but maybe looking for someone to kick it off to. James is going down, but he's going to be forced to bomb away from outside 50. He'll get it right to the square. Knocked away by Brendan Gale. McLeod now bombed, handballs it to his own advantage in front of himself, and then kicks down towards the wing. Richardson, he's after it again, Matthew Richardson. He's got the football there. Vardy working overtime for the Crows. Richardson not happy, be careful, because you've seen before umpires quickly pick a free kick out there for that indiscretion. On this occasion, the umpire will bounce. You can see the umpires there with their respective numbers. Gavin Dorr, Martin Allison, Tim Shearer. Knocked down by Brendan Gale, but chipping in there was James. Just a scraggy old kick by Brett James. Goes inside 50, but over in front there of Rintoul and Turner for a boundary throw-in.
He really should have made better of that, shouldn't he, Brett James? He had the opportunity to be able to bring it in further towards the centre of the goal, but the wobbly kick went towards the line.
James had 26 handballs last week. He's had 1 today. Forward pocket, Stanfield. He's ridden into the ground, but the umpire calls for the boundary throw-in. The 26 by Brett James last week in handballs, clearly the best in round 1. Stanfield doing battle. Clean possession, Brendan Gale. Bounces the ball out. Gains about 25 metres.
It's going to be a big half-time break for Adelaide, isn't it? Coach Malcolm Blight really has to take in some positives as a result of it. There has been a comeback here by the Crows during the second quarter, 3 consecutive goals. But you've really got to give them something to come out and really take on the second half with. And this man is a key to it. Jarman really has to lift even further.
Well, James went for a hand pass then and missed it. Jarman got the kick up the ground and the mark taken by Brent Williams. 52 metres out. What a good kick. Oh, I reckon it's home. Great goal.
Well, that's a very good effort. Now it gives Adelaide their 4th goal of the quarter compared to Richmond just 3. And, how they've come back, I'm not really sure. I think Nigel Smart getting there's done a bit. Bickley, what you don't see about Bickley and what I would always appreciate he does is he takes some control in the centre with vocal support to players.
Yeah, he's a good leader, isn't he, Mark Bickley, the new captain of the Crows? So there's the scoreline with 3 minutes left in the first half. 10-6 plays 7-3. Richmond had the advantage at quarter time. Now there's a free kick. It's going to the Crows. So the ebb and flow of a game of footy, all of a sudden it's gone back in favour of Adelaide. Stanfield can kick this to within scoring distance, and it's not marked, but at the front of the pack, knocked away by Callaway. Damien Ryan's high kick will be marked, and quite safely it's been paid. Well, I thought he may have dropped it, but Nigel Smart being paid the mark. There's no one in the square. If he can bomb it down, no. Now the Richmond defenders getting back, Rogers and Gasper. Jamison, short pass. Now he is a good kick of the football, Rod Jamison. Gee, it's going to be a big kick to score. The player on the mark is about 54 metres from goal. He's going to go short, into a gap, as player on his own. Stanfield drops it, gets back, but too slow. Well done by Manfield. Still there for Adelaide. James hand pass. Williams too high. Slip. Not paid. Yes, of course it is. It wasn't paid by the umpire in the zone, but the other one has taken control.
I think that's very good umpiring.
So do I.
Tim Shearer, I think it was, obviously misses this. Doesn't see it at all. He missed it, and then it was Martin Ellis, the umpire in control of the centre zone, who blew the whistle and ran down and awarded the free kick. I thought that was very good work between the two umpires.
If the bloke down in the zone didn't see it, he should have one of those sticks, I reckon. No, that was so blatant, it wasn't unbelievable. Williams with the kick from about 20 metres out, shoots for goal, and he's put it through. I don't know what the Richmond fans are doing about it. It was such a blatant free kick. It was incredible that the umpire in that area didn't see it. But still, it's a goal on the scoreboard to Adelaide, and Richmond lead now 10-6 to 8-3.
Well, down to 15 points, and the Tigers have got out to some 41 points lead early in this quarter, and Adelaide really worked their way into it. Nigel Smart has been the catalyst to it, without any doubt, at centre half forward. That was a very poor decision by umpire Tim Shearer. He will regret having missed that one.
And that's 3 or 4 this quarter from free kicks to the Crows. 41-point lead has been whittled away. It's now just 15 points in favour of Richmond. Desperation by Callaway, no free kick there. Broderick gave it away. Williams the hand pass to Stanfield. Time for more for the Crows. 2 on the forward line, punched away from McLeod. Smart, 40 metres out. Over the head of Modra. Gasper gets back there to take the mark. Hand pass just about out. Might have come off Modra's shins actually. No, it's a throw-in.
He looked anxiously at the boundary umpire as if it might have been.
Well,
Callaway was a bit stiff. He'd never got a free kick earlier then, wasn't he? Ridden into the ground.
Throw in the forward pocket. Knocked out by Gale. Williams, bit of basketball there. Bickley overruns.
Do you know, Richmond have perhaps stood back a little bit. You know, they're not, before they were making the play, now they seem to be a little bit tentative. It's amazing how, you know, just the run of the play can change, well, maybe in a half a minute or a minute. We spoke about Darren Jarman's influence and Mark Bickley's influence, Nigel Smart, and the senior players standing up for the Adelaide Crows in this second term. Knocked forward by Manfield. Now, brilliant running by Rogers. He received from Ben Holland. The little kick into the centre. He's got to make it, Joel Bowden. The bounce is awkward for him. Rashudo's handball. He got it back and then knocked it forward. Well done there by Rogers. Knocks it out of the path of Miranda. Miranda, he's held, hadn't got the football. Umpire not prepared to pay the free kick. Connell out to Darren Jarman. Boos and jeers from the Richmond fans. Darren Jarman's kick. Just a little tap, but it falls to Stanfield. Gee, the Tigers were a bit fortunate, maybe. Rose surging forward, right on the half-time siren.
And look at Miranda with the umpire here. We almost had a Greg Williams incident again. He was not happy.
Well, his side really has put this situation right back into a fine ball game at half time. Here's the incident leading up here. Miranda, I don't know what he's looking for from there. That was a clear take there by the Adelaide Crows players, but certainly upset him. And I think Richmond have got to be very careful with the attitude they take into the rooms now. Adelaide are going to go in all pumped up, mate. 5 goals second quarter to 3 by the Richmond Tigers. really has given them something to work on now. Malcolm Blight at quarter time, and rightfully so, he really made the call on his players, on senior players and junior players, and they've responded magnificently.
Well, early in that quarter, the Tigers led by 41. Now it's 15, 10-6, 66 to Adelaide, 8-3, 51. All the thrills of the big game here at the MCG in round 2. That first half was terrific. The Crows seemed to be out of it, nearly 7 goals down, but they came back and kicked 5 of the last 6 goals of that first half. And at half-time, it's Richmond 10-6, 66, leading Adelaide 8-3, 51. Leading goal scorers, Matthew Richardson has 3 for the Tigers and Nichols has 2. And for Adelaide, Nigel Smart switch forward, kicked 2 in that second quarter. And Brent Williams, just in his second game of football, kicked 2 in that second quarter. Other games being played today. Well, down at Cardinia Park at Geelong, the Cats need to bounce back after losing to Richmond last week. They're playing the West Coast Eagles. Let's take a look at some highlights of the first half.
Lewis has been rejuvenated, they tell us. Mitchell White couldn't take it. McGrath was held. No free kick. Geelong fans wanted it. Kicked off the ground by Bitterscombe. Comes back to Phil Matera. Point blank range. He's kicked a goal.
From about 65 metres out, centering kick. Big pack at the fall of the ball. Stoneham lacking support initially. Feeds it wide. Corrigan snaps.
There's a West Coast Eagle player down at centre half back too. He doesn't look too good.
Kicking the ball. We see Mainwaring in front. That's Mansfield over the top as long with Hall.
Just as he came down there.
Oh, yes.
Cousins a probing kick. Sanderson should mark. Look out! Oh! McIntosh got him. That was always on. Great credit to both players. It's like slow motion, these things, when they develop. That was always going to happen. Clash of heads in mid-air. Neither player took his eye off the ball.
Punched away this time by Metropolis from Mansfield. Recovers well. Out in front, drills it. Stoneham.
Well, what made that even better was the fact that Mansfield normally a left foot kicked that with his right.
So inside 50, Barry Stoneham, the skipper, has kicked a goal.
And you can see there he's bungled that one.
Inexperienced by Milburn, though. Had to be Riccardi's ball. Left-footed from that pocket. Well, he gives it to Riccardi. Oh.
And at half-time in that game, an 8-point lead to the West Coast. They lead 6-4-40 to Geelong, 4 goals, 8-32. The Cats kicked 3 goals in 8 minutes in that quarter. Hall has 2, Stoneham and Riccardi 1 each, and for West Coast, McIntosh 2, got off the ground injured. Phil and Peter Matera 1 each, Lewis and Grigich. Mainwaring also on crutches in that game. The other game being played today is between the team which used to be Footscray, now the Western Bulldogs, playing the Sydney Swans. Some highlights of the first half there.
Short of midfield, Paul Hudson, a little give. Hudson well down from the full forward position. West. Minden Coral, opportunities. Shooting at goal wasn't his forte though, always. That looks pretty good. And that's the Bulldogs first, they needed that.
Johnson tried to crash his way through the pack, shuffled out to Dyson. Dyson with a left foot kick that travelled about 55 metres. Oh, that's a good mark. So Mooney from just inside 50 will kick for goal. Will it clear the line? It does. It's a goal.
Almost Brownlow medal material if he can maintain his rate. O'Brien couldn't quite complete the mark there. Stafford takes it from Creswell. Up to Luff. Good mark. Troy Luff will kick from 40 metres directly in front to the Robert Heatley stand end. Almost a gimme. And that's what he's done. It's a goal.
It's an unusual matchup, really, as we see Garlick driving it down towards half court. Here's Grant at the back, flying over the... Oh, he didn't hang on to it. Racing in the goal is Philander. He's kicked another one.
Well, both teams needing a win after losing last week, and the Bulldogs lead it by 6 points at half-time, 9-5 to 8-5 for the Bulldogs. Darcy, Cameron and Liberatore 2 goals each, and for the Sydney Swans, Luff is their only multiple goal scorer, and he's kicked 2. You know, if you want to know all about football, you don't have to go to the game, but if you come to the game, get the footy record. It is a magnificent read, but you can also pick up the footy record at newsagents around the town and around Australia. This week, the Rocker Brothers on the front cover, and a terrific article inside on Interfooty. And that's the program on Channel 7. It's for the kids, but for the grown-ups as well. Very well done. And check the local times for Interfooty as it goes to air in your state around the country. But the footy record, a great read. We'll be back at the MCG after a short break. Well, at the start of the telecast, I was inclined to be a bit disappointed about the crowd here at the MCG, but I reckon they all got here in the last minute or two, and it's built up to sizable proportions. It might get up towards about 40,000 now, and the sun is shining after some light rain earlier on. Terrific day at the MCG, and the Crows back in it, and we have a game of football. And here's the situation at half-time. 10-6 to 8-3. Richardson and Nichols, the multiples for Richmond, and Smart and Williams, the multiples for Adelaide. Both got 2 in the second quarter. Wheels, we've got a game now.
Oh, we certainly have, Drew. Early in the second quarter, Richmond go to a 41-point lead, and really the call was, well, how far? They looked so dominant, but some of the moves that Malcolm Blight made at quarter time really have made a significant impact. And the key one was Nigel Smart into centre half forward. But the game opened with Richmond in control. They were really just too tall in their forward line for the defence that Adelaide Crows were able to put out there. You know, Richardson was marking everything. Justin Charles was threatening down there, and Brendan Gale in the ruck I thought was just absolutely supreme. He gave his smaller players a lot of first-hand football. Campbell on the wing was dominant, and then once it got into the forward line, really it was anyone's game. And there's Chris Nash. He's joining in the fray there with the big fellas, being able to jump and take what was a very good mark. So
he'd put that in the highlights package of his career, wouldn't he?
He certainly would. I don't think there's been too many that big taken by him. But there it is there. This is the one that really depicted how Richmond were going. Brendan Gale clearing the air of the tap over to Michael Gale, onto Campbell, running hard off the wing, and bang, from some 55 metres out, they kicked a goal. But really, the Crows weren't beaten and denied after half-time. I thought they really, after quarter-time, they worked at it very hard. Young Tim Cook there, a first game player coming into the side today. And really, there's a lot of young talent there that Malcolm Blight has to work with. And this is a very good game for them to experience. They've experienced being really put under the pressure in the early part of the game, but now under the guidance of some of the senior players, particularly Nigel Smart going to centre forward, as I said, Bickley, Jamison in defence, and Darren Jarman in the second quarter, they've shown these younger players a little bit of a lead and got their side right back in with a chance at half-time.
The Modra-Stanfield combo looked all right early, but then they had to be bolstered later on by Smart. They hardly got a sniff.
They did, and I think they just need that, perhaps a little bit more mobility across half-forward. Smart gave that, maybe aided by a couple of free kicks, but they were there.
Well, what a game we have. 15 points the difference at half-time, and we'll be back soon.
patrons will not be permitted on the arena after today's game. Thank you.
Well, they made it a game in that second quarter, the Crows, kicking 5 goals to 3 and have narrowed the margin to 15 points. They trailed 10-6 to 8 goals 3. Both teams back out on the ground, but most importantly out on the ground, Neil Kerley.
Yeah, thank you, Drew. Well, Malcolm Blight took a few chances at that quarter-time break. He made some changes, and unusual to weaken your defence when you're being beaten to bolster your forward line. That's what he did with Nigel Smart. He made the change with McCartney and Smart. McCartney did a good job at centre-half back in nullifying Charles, and Smart set the forward line alight with some good movement and a couple of goals and one lucky free kick, I thought. He earned the other one. And McCartney was pretty effective in ruck. He didn't control it, but he did nullify to a certain extent. And to the Crows' credit, they are back in this football match. I got a feeling also that maybe Richmond took their foot off the accelerator a bit in that quarter. I know it may be unkind to say that to the Crows, but I just thought they laxed a little bit in their intensity as they had in the first quarter. But to the Crows' credit, they came back full of fight. Young Williams on the half-forward flank gave them a spark, and they are right back in this footy game.
On your curls. Second half about to get underway with umpire Gavin Dorr. Oh, Brendan Gale. But hooked back up the ground by Bickley. Punched out by Turner. Fumble by Kellaway. Campbell wide, terrific to Broderick. Poor hand pass by Broderick. And eventually Ormond Allen. High to centre half forward. Gale with courage backed into the pack. Miranda benched for a moment in the second quarter. Nigel Smart for the Crows. Modra!
What are they saying there, Terry, do you reckon, with Mark Miranda? Playing for the free kick, you think?
Perhaps so there. I mean, yeah.
And
but
accordingly,
he's
just
being
saying,
out. But anyway,
get on with the game.
Get on with it.
Yeah.
But what's good? I mean, they're Smart. He really is the leader in it. And I just suspect his agility for Scotty Turner returning, playing his first senior game off a knee injury, admittedly late last year, has too much mobility for Turner, and really is the key to the Crows game at this stage.
Tony Modra kicked 1 in the first quarter. This for number 2. Oh, it's a beautiful kick.
Just what the doctor ordered for the Crows' point of view, isn't it? First goal of the second half.
Definitely, and 6 out of the last 7, so they're really on fire just at the moment. Maybe a free kick, but be that it may, the game has to go on. And Smart, very good kick it was, just waiting the ball perfectly on the left foot, just sufficient air there for Modra to be able to run onto it, and a perfectly executed kick from a key full forward.
So as Neil Kerley said on resumption of the match at half-time here, the Crows in this match, 9-3 to 10-6, 9 points is the advantage for Richmond. Crows will get away from the centre again, has it? Smart lifted. Good kick too, into the pocket. Out in front there of Rintoul. Rogers the tackler. Ball forced over for a throw-in. About 50 metres, just inside 50 metres. Rintoul in the picture. Rogers number 4 for Richmond. And the ruckman, Brendan Gale and Barry Stanfield. I thought Stanfield around the centre certainly livened the Crows up in the second part of that second quarter. Campbell, gee, just loves to get his foot on the ball, doesn't he? And he does it with just so much monotony. Bowden's lovely little kick for Kellaway. Kellaway, equally as good, finds Nichols. Nichols to run onto that beautiful left foot of his, into half forward. Daffy, gee, recovered his position very well, did Nick Daffy, and then kicks with good penetration to the full forward line. The ball spills. Opportunity for Charles, the effervescent Justin Charles. The kick is a magnificent kick. Sets it up for Daffy. In he goes and kicks the goal. Well done, Justin Charles.
Well, there's no doubt who the player you congratulate in that piece of work is. That Charles does the actual roving of the contest and the goal line. We see it here. There's enough there to be able to get up. There's a sprawl from the defence, but then Charles whips through as if he's only 5'9" and uses the right foot and kicks it perfectly to the correct spot. Disciplined football, Daffy in there. That's a great answer from Tigers.
that was excitement plus. Combination between Charles and Daffy. No wonder Charles got 17 votes in the Brownlow last year, beaten by only 4. Gale very high in ruck, as he's done all day. Charles back in the middle, palming the ball down. Stanfield caught in Broderick's tackle. Umpire will ball it up.
It was such a good tackle by Paul Broderick. There was absolutely nothing that the Adelaide Crows player could do. What was there?
Nope.
It was just so effective, that tackle.
And Robert Walls has made the change with the key positions. Gasper is coming out to take the dangerous Smart. Scott Turner has gone back right to the last line of defence. Much better match-up, I think, from a Tiger perspective.
Ball up on the cricket pitch. And Gale through Campbell. High one by Broderick. Centre of the ground. Visca a punch. Ormond Allen. Oh, Wayne Campbell. Best and fairest 2 years ago. Slipped to 6th last year, but going red hot at the moment. Couple of possessions here. Miranda. Connell gets the hand pass back from James. A high ball by Connell to half forward. And here's Benny Gale again.
Broderick shouting for it, screaming, kick it to me quick. He's going to get caught, but he slipped the tackle and then got the handball away to Gasper. Gasper's kick to half forward. Well done there by Edwards. Handball over the top, sets it up for Jamison. Little hand pass is all right. Down goes Vardy towards full forward. Punched away by Brendan Gale. Still a contest being provided. Modra, little kick taken by Gasper. Handball in the Brendan Gale direction. Miranda overruns it. Then handballs, then taps on to the advantage of Campbell. Campbell, well done, gathers and gets his kick. But it's smothered off the boot, knocked away by Ryan over for a throw-in 50 metres from Adelaide's goal.
I tell you what's a good sign for a coach is when your forward line looks like your back line, in that the forwards are working hard at the ball as if their life depends upon it. And I can just sense that just in the Crows just in the moment. That particular play there, that last minute, they were all much harder at it.
Gale palms it down. Ormond Allen. That will be a ball up.
Campbell, 25 possessions, Drew, 16 kicks and 9 hand passes.
A wonderful game.
Leading possession gatherer on the ground.
By a country kilometre. Gale again, as though he brought his own football. Broderick, lightning to Michael Gale. Oh, Broderick was out when he got the handball. Just a little bit too flash for their own good. So a throw in near centre wing. 72 to 57. The margin back to 15 points, which it was at half-time. Ruck interference to Brendan Gale against Stanfield.
And the ironical cheers coming from the Tiger supporters. They were pretty disappointed with what happened in the first half, particularly the second quarter. Brendan Gale's kick to Charles. Charles is probably a little forward of the centre. He kicks it very wide. It bounces and bounces awkwardly. In goes Edwards. Miranda's hand pass, probably ineffective. Daffy wide. Look for Richardson. Richardson goes back, but he's beaten forward by Ben Hart. Very well done, Ben Hart. Nearly run down by Matthew Richardson. Then rides the bump. It's a good one by Joel Bowden. It was a beauty. Matthew Richardson gets the crumbs, and thank you to Joel Bowden. The ball in the right forward pocket for Richmond. Ben Holland's kick just goes straight past Darren Jarman. In goes Charles. He'll go in and get the goal. No, he won't. Have a look at the anguished look on his face as his kick. Well, it looked an absolute Monty. And he's kicked it behind.
Just had to take one more step.
That's amazing, isn't it?
But I think he was worried about that one more step too, because I think he was conscious of how far he'd actually ran.
11-7 to 9-3.
Kick in a Zuma. Mark low down by Hart. Now to Bickley. Don't rule the Crows out yet. Kick by Bickley is good to centre field. And diving mark was taken by Williams. Brent Williams in his second game of league football. Teenager. Modra. Oh, had a fair capture on it, but not a mark. Hand pass back out to Tony Modra. And he goes backwards. Back outside 50. Rashudo. Backhands the ball to Ormond Allen. What's the definition of a hand pass?
Oh, and the umpire was about 5 yards away.
That's out of bounds on the full. Modra seemed to lack confidence then. Why would he go backwards?
Yeah, he had a chance really to take a couple of steps and go for goal, didn't he? And the kick now lands with Ryan. Ryan The player on the mark is right on the defensive 50-metre line, so Ryan's kick will land the ball close to the centre. Well done, Gaspar. Handball over the top, Broderick. Broderick sets it up now. Short kick is all right, Nichols. He's got Nash running in support. The kick was probably a little too fancy, and the Crows able to defend. This time it's Johnson who safely sees it over for a boundary throw-in. 73 plays 57. We're halfway through the third quarter.
Well called, Robbo. They were just being too fancy. Richardson was on, just some 20 metres out from goal. He was looking for a long kick. He was one out. Just too cute there, the Tigers.
Boundary throw-in. James trying to break clear, unsuccessful. Also there, Justin Charles. Johnson still kept in, so it's with the Richmond side's advantage. Short kick, has that gone far enough? The umpire blew his whistle, but Justin Charles didn't waste any time. He went for goal. Oh, they've got crummers here everywhere. Get it out, Miranda, he can't. Ben Hart, to his credit, fought on hard. Now Nash, he's gone, but he got the handball away. Nichols, can he get past? Back it in, back it in, back it in. 3 goals to Trent Nichols. He is electrifying. He's a very talented player. 12-7, plays 9-3.
Well, this is the sort of stuff here that really, where a half forward can complement work that's done by a number of other teammates. Now, some solid work in between there, but Nichols really positions himself well to be able to get onto there. Approaching 100 games of league football now, well experienced.
The punter, Robbo, back it in, back it in. He started even money, went to 2-1 on, finished 10-1 on and got his 3rd goal. And Robbo collected the money. Brendan Gale again. Down to Campbell, kick smothered. Oh, what a tackle. That Bowden can really tackle.
He does, doesn't he?
Oh. Campbell rips the ball out. Justin Charles, he might kick a big one here. Whooshka! Oh! His second, and a wonderful minute and a half for the Tigers.
You can see why he catches the eye. I mean, he's just
whatever he's on, we all want to have a go at.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just sensational.
Terrific.
Wait, he's got tremendous agility. I mean, the size of the man, he's a real big boy, but his ability there, confident enough to bounce the ball, enough time to straighten himself up, and then, well, why not celebrate something like that? But he and Brendan Gale, their tandem ruck work today has been very, very good.
Well, he kicked it again, Terry, from around about 50 metres, so another good long kick. The Tiger supporters are in voice. Their side have hit back. Brendan Gale knocks it down, but it's taken away by Bickley. He's kicked to half forward, out in front of Smart. He does well, gets rid of Gaspar, and from 50 metres, Nigel Smart will answer and kick a Crows goal. Well done. So Nigel Smart has kicked 3 goals for Adelaide. He started in defence alongside Rod Jamieson. In the second term, Malcolm Blight sent him to the forward line, and he's done the job for the coach.
This is a great goal, a great individual effort here, the one-on-one contest, the stuff that you have to do at training time and time again, but being able to keep his feet in the contest. Any junior player watching that was the key to that he didn't go to ground, he stayed upright and was able to win it and pick up a 3rd goal. Last year he was asked to do this on a couple of times, go forward, make a difference, and today he's repeated the dose.
Margin 22 points. Brendan Gale just dominating the ruck. This time the kick to Rashudo. Play on, says the umpire. Rashudo, a bit confused, but finds Bickley. Long, penetrating kick. But straight to Rogers. Any amount of Tigers out here, but the kick goes past Broderick and out of bounds. And Paul Broderick not too happy with the disposal from Rogers. And we'll have a throw in at the Tigers at the left half-back flank. 18 possessions. He's been a wonderful get from Fitzroy. Hasn't missed a game for 3 years. Here's Darren Jarman. It could be very dangerous if he stays on forward line. Modra.
Very, very good work. I mean, Scotty Turner, he's maybe a little bit underdone his first return, but that was a very strong performance from a full forward who may have a bit of a stronger mental edge about his game. I mean, able to stand in there and take whatever Scott Turner was going to give him, but maintain his eyes on the ball. A very good rework for some solid body work.
2 kicks for 2 goals so far. Make it 3 out of 3. No problem. Crows definitely right back in this. They've kicked the last 2.
Well, they're not going to give this one away, the Adelaide Crows. They've been very, very good right throughout. Richmond really are playing in the bursts. They had the burst there of 3 goals with Daffy, Nichols and Charles, and following Charles's goal, really all the energy was with the Tigers, but now they've come back with 2, the Crows, and are placing themselves very well in the game.
Margin 16 points in favour of Richmond. We've got 11 minutes left in the third term. You'd have to say pretty well perfect conditions here now at the MCG. We had rain threatening early on in the day, but it's been a pretty good day. Well done, Gale. Down to Campbell. Campbell's quick kick will land and be marked eventually by Matthew Richardson. Big man. Geez, quick, isn't he, for a tall player? Opportunity again here for Broderick. Gets onto his left side. Charles goes back, but the hand pass intercepted by Jamieson. He gets it to James. James, well done. The kick off the side of his boot was intended for Stanfield. He can't quite get past, and he made a bit of a mess of that. The bounce is awkward. Well done, Gasper on smart. Ball spills. Still there. Little tap by Brendan Gale. Could have nearly been deemed as a throw. Broderick with the football. All locked up. Right hand forward point of the square in Adelaide's attacking half. Richmond lead 13-7 to 11-3. It's a 16-point margin in favour of the Tigers.
Oh, Stanfield was frustrating there, wasn't he? That moment's hesitation, you should never hesitate. You're going goalward, keep going, son.
Well, it brings a certain amount of anxiety to a coach's face, you would think, wouldn't you? That sort of thing.
There's that for a high tackle on Kerley. Just behind centre wing. 85 to 69, Tigers in front. Kellaway to centre half forward. Jamieson spoils. James spun in the tackle, no whistle. Jarman playing for the free, forgot to go for the footy. Miranda, Daffy right in front, 45 metres out.
Daffy gets off and finds that hole very regularly, doesn't he? In there by himself.
Do you think Jarman had claims on a free?
I don't think the umpires are prepared to give those free kicks now. I mean, it's probably been evident for a few years now. If you start looking for it, they just say, don't bludge on it, get in and get it out properly.
And the crumbs grabbed by Richmond, and it might be a goal as a result. What a kick by Daffy! His third, and just a couple of steps and pop from 50 metres.
He's a very good player across that half-forward line. And the Tigers, he would have been one of the factors that had the Tigers fall down the ladder last year. A broken hand late in the year. Has got a 5-goal bag against his name through last year and a 6-goal bag the year before. I mean, he's a real goal scorer, and 3 here today have been very, very important, 2 in this critical third quarter.
Well, he's now played 69 games and approaching his 100th goal for Richmond as Nick Daffy. Have a look at Brendan Gale. He's a man on a mission. Gets it down in the direction of Nichols. Did some very, very good roving there to Trent Nichols, and then kicks brilliantly to Miranda. Gee, I'd love to be sitting on the end of one of those. He hardly misses his target. He's kicked to full forward. Richardson knocked away. In trouble, Visca. He's caught with the football. The umpire gives him every chance and eventually deems it as being pinned to his chest, so he will ball it up 47 metres from Richmond's goal. 14-7 to 11-3. Margin back out to 22 points. Every time the Crows make a little bit of a surge to get close, Tigers seem to be able to answer. Daffy to Naish. Naish to Miranda. Up high, couldn't take the mark. Callaway is underneath there somewhere. Brett James is able to get clear. Oh, Miranda gives away a ridiculous free kick. And you would reckon the runner will be straight to mark Miranda. When you work hard to get the ball into your full forward area, give away a free kick like that, and all of a sudden the Crows are let off the hook.
No doubt whatsoever, and just a sense that Miranda's just boiling underneath, and there might be some more undisciplined play sitting in that boy now, and I think Robert Walls really needs to take some charge here. You can't talk to the umpire, son. Get on with the game.
The Italian blood in him. Comes from Kalgoorlie, so it might boil over there too.
And there it was, just left of screen. You're right, Robbo, the runner right out to him.
Stanfield, a high ball to centre wing. Bowden comes from behind, might have marked, but punch is good. Naish. Charles, what a quarter he's had.
Well, Rogers got rid of Jarman there too. Could have nearly been a free kick.
Justin Charles, short pass, Richardson.
Been a fair while between drinks. I think Ben Hart has done a very good job from late in the, early in the second quarter. I think Richardson was clearly dominant, but Hart has stuck to the guns. But it's a big ask to keep a man this size down all day. And out he comes again.
Richardson for goal number 4. 51 metres out. Well, you wouldn't back him from there. And that has gone through for a minor score off many hands. In fact, early in the game, the amount of possessions he was getting at half forward, about 50 out, and not much came of them.
No, but I think that's one of the qualities that Richmond need to keep using. Just that wild card piece of Richardson where he's allowed to run around as much as he wants.
Stanfield not quite able to take the mark. Brett James kicks it forward. Ormond Allen tackle on Broderick. Ball spills for Ryan. He forces it forward. Only as far there as McLeod. Little kick by Nichols went nowhere. Still in the congestion. Kick out by Vardy. Bounces awkwardly at left half forward. Gathered by Smart. Went after it again. Intercepted Rogers. Kicked away Jarman. Now Bowden. Bowden has a bit of a look and then delivers. Gee, they're all over the place.
He's a player, that Bowden.
In my word, they're going to get a free kick, aren't they? He was down and he might have been reported. You get the impression here that there's been a report against maybe Darren Jarman. Rogers not happy, but the umpire certainly with a notebook. Play will go on. Richmond get the ball to half forward. Ben Holland, it's knocked back wide. Naish, sneaky little hand pass. Nichols, what about this one? Oh, disciplined. Miranda nearly got on the end of it, knocked away there. Again Nichols. Oh, brilliant. Naish has got it.
There's always space at the back of the contest, and we're seeing more and more players, rather than looking on down and going towards a crowded forward line, being prepared just to have a little look back, and Nichols was a great left foot delivery back behind the flow of play to find Naish.
Naish has kicked one. Gee, it's another good kick. If it gets a distance, it's just been touched by maybe Jason McCartney there, and through for a behind to the Tigers. Christian Naish now 1 goal 2. So they now lead by 4 goals, Richmond. We had the margin in the second term as great as 41 points.
Kick in by Hart. Daffy, off hands to Miranda. Hart chops it off. Johnson. Short of centre wing. Charles. Caught in a good tackle by Jarman, holding the ball. Well, Darren Jarman wins a free from the umpire a minute after his report. Kick by Jarman to half forward. Smart works to the front. Good punch away by Gasper. Risciuto. Vardy for the Crows. Modra. He was under a lot of pressure there from Scott Turner. Not for the first time this quarter, and an excellent mark by Tony Modra.
It's a very good kick there from Vardy. Opened the season tremendous fashion last week in the opening quarter and gave great run to the Crows midfield. Has had to work a little bit harder today, being pitted to Wayne Campbell. That one was a very good pass into a well-leading full forward.
Well, he kicked 7 goals last week against Brisbane. He's got 3 so far today. Miranda's off. Modra's kick from 50. That is just sensational. That's 3 in this quarter to Tony Modra. Three kicks the difference.
Well, if you're going to come back, what you want is your best forward to be one of the players right into the frame. The 3 goals to Tony Modra in this third quarter really does have him be that. Scotty Turner really, it just looks a little bit out of sorts there, not able to get off at the marks as quickly as he'd possibly like to be there for the contest. But he's all the Tigers have got, I think.
4 goals straight to Tony Modra. 14-9 plays 12-3, margin 18 points. Knocked away by Stanfield. Only as far as Broderick. Broderick's kick to half forward. Well done. Johnson gets back and marks safely on his chest at left half back. Handball away to Ben Hart. Ben Hart across through the centre half-back position and then kicks wide of centre. Rogers from behind gets the handball back. This is Rogers now. Got the hand pass from Bowden. Now Campbell. He's caught. Dispossessed. Well done. Good harassment provided by Bickley. Set it up for McCartney. Now Visca. Visca's kick finds on centre wing, between wing and half forward really, is Williams for Adelaide. He's a goal kicker. He's kicked 2 for the Crows. Oh, Modra up high. Couldn't take the mark. Able to recover his position. Handball it wide. McLeod, a left foot snap by McLeod is offline. And through for a behind to the Crows.
That was nearly a new category, nearly the assist of the season. Mark of the year, goal of the year.
Yes, there's a lot of statistics like that probably aren't registered in too many papers or whatever, but...
got up a mile,
yeah.
Tony Modra.
Yep. Great mark to Brendan Gale.
Hasn't he played a game? Roderick, good off the left or right.
Good, I'll go down
Daffy.
there.
Skirts around Jamison. Centres the ball. Oh, Holland.
Good young player.
Very good player. Is he too far out to score? Looks like it. Richardson's there. And Campbell didn't get first touch. No mark. It'll be a ball up.
Well, I think that's one of the real pluses for the third umpire. If we were down to 2, I reckon he might have conned them and won it. But here we see umpire Martin Ellis, number 23 in the foreground. He's right there. He knows what's happened, and a very good decision.
Gee, I would have never given it to him.
So right in the teeth of goals, Charles tries to take clean possession. Stanfield. He's buried. Well, they need one of those ditch witches to get him out of the ground. Gives it back to the umpire. Just 17 points the margin, 2.5 minutes left, third quarter.
Well, I don't think that we're all that disappointed. We came here thinking it was going to be a pretty even tussle. It looked like being all one way in the second term, but the Crows, to their credit, still here with some chance of winning the game. 93 plays 76. Richmond through Broderick. Goes across the half-forward line. Kicks and looks for Ryan, but chipping in is Ormond Allen and marks for Adelaide across half-back. Just wait a little bit. Oh, kicks into the man of the mark. Now that is just catastrophic. Ryan able to gather, then gets the handball to Daffy. Daffy into the pocket, and all of a sudden that turnover might be extremely costly for Adelaide. Richardson has the football. Short kick. Probably looking there for Nichols, but just a little too high. And in chipped Johnson to punch it away from Trent. Nichols over for a throw-in.
Certainly takes the wind out of the sails, doesn't it? There was a perfect opportunity. Nigel, smart at centre half forward, was holding back, so space was created on the half forward line for, I think it might have been McLeod to run on into, but Trent Ormond Allen couldn't get it over the top of the man on the mark.
Well, there a chance here to get clear. Edwards' handball was really not to anyone's advantage. Ben Hart tried to clear from half-back. Chance now for Manfield. Manfield snapshot is a goal for the Tigers. Matthew Manfield kicks his first goal, and again, when Adelaide looked as though they're some chance to get to within maybe a goal, that little hand pass there by Edwards made it difficult for them to break away, and the goal kicked by Matthew Manfield, the former Fitzroy player.
And that can somewhat be the trend of the game. One side gets away, another comes back, and then it gets down to a tough one-on-one tussle.
He's looked all right in his 2 games for Richmond. Matthew Manfield had just 5 games in 2 years for Fitzroy. Still a teenager. Holland, but knocks it straight to Bickley. To the front edge of the centre square. Punched on. Chopped off by Ryan. Ryan going for a gallop. Damien Ryan, just 19 years of age. Half back to half forward, but Hart takes the mark in front of Richardson.
He could have just gone for a little chip kick back in towards centre forward. His teammate making good position there.
23 points the margin. We're in the last minute of the third quarter. It's going Adelaide's way. Ryan again ducks the tackle. Well tackled there by Williams. Ball spills out to Stanfield. Touch, play on. The hand pass to Smart. Hawking. In he comes to the other baldy. Jamison. Standing start kick. Modra. Offline from Jamison and through for a minor score.
Rod Jamieson, from memory, in the maybe the first season of the Crows, was a very good goal kicker.
Led their goal.
Led the goal kicking, was it? But, obviously, in this situation, he was just sort of following the play down the ground because he's run all the way back down to man up on his opponent at cross half back now. At this stage, it's Justin Charles. The kick in goes out wide. Ben Holland couldn't take the mark. Joel Bowden just gets his left foot to it. Bickley, handball. Williams goes for his third. Brent Williams, good looking kick, just offline, hits the post. When the Crows could have really done with a goal there. 2 goals, 1 to Brent Williams. 15-9 to 12, 21 points is the margin. Just a few seconds left in the third term. So Richmond will go into the last quarter with the advantage. They set it up in the first term when they kicked 7-5 to 3 goals, and it really has been a bit of catch-up footy from the Crows there on in. Kick out wide, Holland and Gasper. Darren Jarman not able to control the footy. He's had 15 possessions, 3 tackles, 3 marks, so a fair game from Darren Jarman, but gee, we're used to watching him kick goals, I think, aren't we? You know, he's sort of down the ground a little bit too far, maybe.
Certainly in defence in the first half, more midfield now, but you'd like to see him either kicking them himself or setting them up. Still, I won't argue with you, Malcolm. That's siren time, 3/4 time here at the MCG, and it's 21 points the difference. As Malcolm Blight comes down to address his charges. Well, they're not out of it. They can win the game, there's no worries. Well, I shouldn't say no worries, but they're close enough to win the game.
I think they've constructed a very good stage here for the Adelaide players. This is a great test for them. It's well documented that they haven't travelled well coming into Melbourne. In over 30 appearances, I think they've only won something like 5 or 6 or something, and they've got some key players missing. You know, Matty Liptak's not on the side, Bond, Robertson, Chalmers, good tall players. So the players out there, this will be an indication of what depth Adelaide have got.
Tigers by 21, 15-9 to 12-6. Good crowd at the MCG. I can tell you nobody's leaving. This game is still up for grabs. 21 points the difference. Certainly the Tigers hold sway, but Adelaide not without a chance. Richmond 15-9, 99. Lead the Crows 12 goals, 6, 78. Bit of activity going on at 3/4 time with the coaches out there, and look at Malcolm Blight. Circling like a shark he was. And he was picking them out like little fish in the sea. Light, good heavens. You weren't like that at our breakup party last year after the grand final. Other games, 1-pointer down at Cardinia Park. Eagles by a point, 8-4 to 7 goals 9 for the Eagles. Grigich and McIntosh 2 goals each. For Geelong, Riccardi 3, Hall has 2. What a game. And in the other game, Bulldogs by 2 points. 2 close games, 12-9 to 12-7 for the Bulldogs. Cameron has 3 and Minton Connell 3, and for Sydney, O'Brien 3 goals. Curls down on the boundary line.
Yeah, Robert Walls has asked for a long kicking game to use the big man power he's got, and Malcolm Blight is just appealing to his players to work hard, tough it out, and give it the best shot they've got.
You back him, Curls?
My money's on Richmond.
Well, there's not much in it, is there, really? It's start of the last quarter. 21 points is not a lot in a game of football these days. 15-9 plays 12-6. Richmond lead, and around about 30 minutes of football left. Leading possession gatherer, Wayne Campbell, 17 kicks and 11 handballs, 10 and 7 for Charles, 12 and 10 for Broderick. Stanfield's been pretty good. That's his 12th kick in the direction of Nigel Smart. Overrunning it there was McLeod. Coming through was Rogers. Taken by Williams, then Jarman. Now Vardy from 50 metres. If he kicks a goal here, Curls might get on. It is a goal to the Crows. Peter Vardy kicks his first goal. It's 15 points.
Well, the people who were able to see the three-quarter time break and the way that Malcolm Blight was really putting the pressure on his side, this would be the start that he would want. Some quick exchange there. Williams was one involved. He's been very good right throughout, playing only his second game. And then to be able to get on to the end of that and complete it, Vardy, a very, very good start.
Quite dark here at the MCG at the moment. But Adelaide can see a light at the end of the tunnel. They're certainly close enough to win. That's a high tackle. Free kick to Adelaide against Charles. So Barry Stanfield celebrating his 100th game. Pity he didn't knock him up with Footscray. He got 98 at Footscray and 2 now with the Crows. The kick to the 50. Another chance for Adelaide. Gasper for Richmond. Back over the centre circle to Charles and Stanfield. Ball sits. Knocked out of the air by James. Jamison, Southern stand wing. Hand pass is good to Visca. Visca goes bang to half forward. Gaspar through his hands, a chance here.
Free kick, Drew.
Richmond free, and listen to the crowd. The free kicks are only 10 to 9 in favour of Adelaide, actually.
Yeah, I didn't think it really warranted ironical cheers, but obviously the fans see. I think you mentioned an important stat was they've got about 3 goals out of free kicks, haven't they, the Crows?
In the second quarter, they got to rush them.
And I guess that sticks in the mind of the supporter. There's a good mark to Matthew Richardson. He's down around the wing, looking to play on. He's caught, gets the handball away. Gee, they were lucky there. Rogers quickly to half forward. Marking contest. The ball spills to the front of the pack. Visca, Vardy, little handball, not bad. Well done by Edwards, away to Rashudo. Rashudo down the ground, looks for Smart. At the back, Mark, is that a push out? Rintoul has been paid the mark.
Unlucky not to get the 50 too. The ball taken out of the hands here. Again, the pack forms and really just some distractions there. Gasper taking the eye off it. Smart steps outside and then the Richmond player in and just pushes it out of his hands. Very lucky Richmond.
So Rintoul from about 40 metres. Maybe he'll have to kick it a little longer than 40. But it is a goal to the Crows. First 2 goals of the last turn to Adelaide. Oh, gee whiz, it's even money now. 15-9 plays 14-6, 9 points Richmond.
Well, other than the first couple of goals at the start of the game, the Crows have not been this close, and they've done it through real meticulous work. They've been strong at it ever since about halfway through the second quarter. They've really changed their attitude towards the ball and to the game, and now they're reaping the rewards. And Chad Rintoul, just his second game, a very good goal under a lot of pressure.
So the Crows with the opening 2 goals in the first 4 minutes of the final quarter. Hacked out of the air by Vardy. Wide to half forward, and well done by Williams to take the mark. The youngster from Melbourne playing for the Crows. On the bounce past Modra it goes. Rintoul missed with the hand pass. Gasper from the back pocket. Well, Daffy lost sight of it. McLeod, a good hand pass into Smart. 60 metres from goal. Stanfield, kick smothered. Now they're inside 50, but they've lost it to Campbell. Good vision. Bowden, half back to half forward. Hart punches away from Richardson. Visca to Jarman. We can't confirm that Jarman is reported. The umps won't tell us. Long kick to the forward line. At the back, almost a chance for Rintoul. He paddles.
Well done, Bond.
Bond off the ground. Orman Allen. Smart delays the hand pass. This is a chance to Bickley. No distance. Dropping short. Turner punches. Vardy. Snap by Vardy. Is a behind.
Tony Modra very slow to get up after a collision. No, Modra back in the square. Yes, very slow to get up there after a collision in the goal square.
Well, this can go anyway. 8 points at the moment in favour of Richmond. Scott Turner to kick in.
Shouldn't be long, and I think Blight should slip Jarman down right around the 20-30 metre mouth of the goal.
What's Modra up to here?
Bit of trouble with his left leg, Tony Modra. He's limping.
Turner kicks to himself and then gets it well outside that danger area temporarily. Jarman swoops on it, has a bit of a look, and then kicks across his body. Could have nearly straightened up, but he delivered to Ormondellan, who dropped it, and it went over. So he'd be disappointed, Trent Ormondellan there. He was spoken to quite harshly at the beginning of the three-quarter time break by the coach.
That won't help.
Hasn't really bothered the statistician all that much. Look at Rashudo. But Bowden stands his ground and holds them up. Out the back to Callaway. Callaway, a little kick. Very good. Broderick has the footy. And Richmond player in a bit of strife there. Looks like it's Bowden. Now the kick goes towards the right half forward area. Johnson, little tap out to the advantage there of Ben Hart. Trent Nichols not able to control. Throw it in, please, boundary umpire. Chris Nation, the foreground, being marked there by Visca. And the field umpire, you can see, front on to the ruck contest. Stanfield and Gale. Gale down. Johnson, little handball. Bickley, James. Still Johnson, knocks it close to the line. Bickley comes in, kicks in towards full forward. Too short. Good mark taken there by Bowden. He recovered pretty well. He's a strong boy. Kick is too far for Nichols. It may sit for him. And he's pushed over in the finish by Ormondellan. So the boundary umpire will throw it in.
Just a reminder about talking footy on Monday night. It's earlier than usual in Melbourne at 8:30, but check your local guides for details. Special guests this week, Wayne Carey and fabulous Phil Carman. 8:30, talking footy. Check your local guides. Here's Benny Gale. Half back to half forward. Good punch away by McCartney, who was switched to defence early. Daffy. Very high. Richardson camped underneath it. Spills out wide to Johnson. Goes for the boundary line. And does it with safety. In between half-back and centre wing. We have a game here at the MCG. The Tigers, after bolting away early and leading by 41 points early in the second quarter, now lead by just 8. And just under 15 minutes remaining in the game. Back towards the boundary line. Soccer was almost defensive. McCartney took it and hit the ground running. Smart at half forward. Gasper with him. Good support by McLeod. Straight to full forward and Modra, who's not too well. The punch by Turner goes to Bowden.
Bowden has a bit of a look and then kicks wide, very wide. It'll bounce over. And it will be thrown in. Another player in that passage of play, Jason McCartney, was spoken to by the coach at three-quarter time. He just looked as though he had just a little bit more determination written on his face as he cleared the ball from half-back. Well done, Stanfield. He has been a very big influence on this game since going into the ruck around about halfway through the second term. Nigel Smart gets his foot to it. Important. Now the tackle deemed as too high. So he will kick from 50 metres. He's kicked 3 goals.
At least 2 from free kicks.
Again, well, that tackle certainly over his right shoulder from Paul Broderick. Now he'd have to be a real chance to kick a goal here, Nigel Smart. He kicked one about 50 metres from the other end. This is going to fall short. No mark. Williams! Snap for goal. He's hooked it too far. He's got to score though. It's a behind. 2 goals, 2 to Brent Williams. So the margin now 7 points in favour of the Tigers.
Been very lively across there, hasn't he? Half forward for a pocket. He's really given the Crows something to work towards as a marking option, and then as he showed them, competent at ground level.
Yeah, teenager from the Paran Dragons, playing just his second game of AFL. Daffy. Williams has had 15 possessions today. Kicked by Daffy. It's chopped off at about centre of the ground. Kane Johnson. it straight up to Bowden. Richardson climbs. Good spoil half.
Good throw.
Tyson Edwards to the centre of the ground. Bickley had half a step to go off. James to Rasciuto. Long inside 50. Gets to the back of the pack. Williams the hand pass to Modra. He's kicked it. Tony Modra has 5 and the margin is a point.
This is unbelievable. 6 of the last 8 goals to the Adelaide Crows, and they're all in amongst it. Everyone wants a piece of it. Williams, quick hands, onto Modra, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals. Very good effort.
Well, amazing. Richmond by 41 points early in the second term, now lead by just a point. And the Crows are finishing all over the top of the Tigers. Centre clearance is very important. They've had the ball across half forward a few times, Richmond, but not able to get it down to the big forwards waiting. Good strong play by Rogers. The ball forced in towards full forward, knocked away from Charles by Jamison. He's been pretty good. He's negated the tall forwards very nicely. McLeod can't get there, and it'll be thrown in right half forward for Richmond. 15-9, 15-8, 12 minutes left.
Richmond are scoreless in this last quarter in 11 and a half minutes. Haven't scored a point.
Pick a winner, Robert.
Well, I just think the momentum's with Adelaide. I thought at three-quarter time that they were some sort of a chance, and they kicked the first couple of goals. There's a high tackle. Certainly a free kick there to Campbell. He's been a terrific player. 32nd possession coming up to Wayne Campbell. He's kicked the goal. He's going to kick in towards half forward. Marking contest. The ball spills to the front. Kick by Kellaway. Has just missed. Off to the right. Through for a behind. Kellaway, he's not usually a goal kicker. Obviously a job that he's got to pick up his man. Ben Hart to bring it back in for Adelaide. Plenty of time left. Ben Hart kicks in. Has he gone over the line? I don't believe it. No. Well, in a tight game, gee whiz, not much point in discussing it, is it? You never often see an umpire blow his whistle and change his decision.
The most senior umpire out there, Gavin Dorr, ruling on that one. His plant foot was over the line. So said the umpire. Knocked out by Charles. But it's grabbed in defence by Johnson. Over centre circle he goes. Hooked up by Ryan. Intercept by Williams. He's played a top game. Smart.
Isn't that incredible? When the ball went back to the goal square, Adelaide were hard up against the boundary line on the half-back flank. Now they've come down the centre.
Modra got hands to it but couldn't take the mark. Brendan Gale at the back. We have 11 and a quarter minutes left.
He had to make ground then. He was in stride and he really made it. Well done by Edwards. He was outnumbered 2-1.
He's at centre wing. Goes the short pass. James. Back he goes to Johnson. Oh, here's a chance.
That is an excellent kick. A perfect kick in there to is it?
Rintoul.
Yeah, but looking at Johnson there, the space was on, and he just that bit of height in the kick, and really an excellent pick there by young Johnson off the half-back.
Well, Chad Rintoul made his debut for the Crows last week. 22-year-old from East Fremantle. He played state football for Western Australia. And how about this? He can put the Crows in front at the MCG. They trail by a point.
Oh dear, nail-biting stuff, isn't it? Scotty Turner. Well, the pressure's right on now, both sides. There's the Crows. Some of their fans that have come along to the Melbourne Cricket Ground. They won their first game last week against Brisbane at home. Richmond won their first game last week. And they're both striving for their second win out of the first 2 games. It's up to half forward for the Tigers. Look at Richardson. Make ground at the back. Charles just got rid of there by Jamison. Ben Hart to Johnson. Johnson hasn't been too bad. Jarman Down the wing is very good. He's found Stanfield. Haven't minded his game. 13 kicks, 1 handball, 5 marks and 3 hit-outs, Barry Stanfield. Also kicked a goal. Oh, hitting right on the chest, Ryan to Bowden. The kick out wide, Broderick. Can't keep it in. Frustratingly. Just slips out of his grasp over for a throw-in.
Midway point of the quarter, Richmond still haven't scored in this final term. Oh, a point. 1 point is all. 100 plays 99. James, Stanfield. Across the ground, short of the centre circle. Manfield. Daffy limping a bit. The kick to the 50. Holland. Well done, McCartney. Keeps it in for McLeod. Just out short of centre wing. Boy, what a finish to a game which looked one-sided earlier on when Richmond led by 41 points. They lead by a point.
Well, 9 minutes left and the play is between wing and right half forward favouring Richmond. It's probably 2.5 kicks from their goal. Boundary umpire throws it in and Justin Charles tries to get it down to Gale. It's hacked out of the air there by Vardy, but it's been well marked by Bowden. Haven't minded his game. 16 kicks and 5 hand passes. 2 tackles, 4 marks. Kicks it in short. The leading possession gatherer on the ground, Campbell. Ryan, you're in strife. You're in all sorts of strife and it will rebound. Holding the man! Oh, dear me.
Just hung onto the tackle too long, did Bickley.
Daffy's left foot kick to full forward. Mark to Richmond. Richardson.
Oh, I mean, your best tackler, your captain, just does it a little bit too far across the line here, and it allows the Tigers in to set something up here.
Do you think it was a justified free kick?
Unfortunately, yes.
Fair enough.
I mean, you couldn't get a better bloke at the job than Bickley, but he just went 1 second too far.
Well, Richardson for his 4th goal. It's a goal. Matthew Richardson's 4th goal gives the Tigers a 7-point break. 8 minutes left.
Well, they needed it, but there's still plenty of time left. Obviously now the most critical part of the game is this next centre bounce. Not perhaps necessarily who gets the ball out of there, but what attitude each side takes in there. Which side now wants to make the difference in these final 8 minutes.
Richardson took the most marks in the league last week and he's taken 10 more today, and he's given Richmond a bit of breathing space now with his 4th goal. Campbell goes back. Rogers. Kicked by Rogers inside the 50. Holland very high. Punch to the turf. Nation knocked out of it. Miranda. Ball ripped out of his arms. That was well played by James. Prosciutto. Crowd wants ball. Umpire says, I'll have the ball.
A few people up there think it's a free kick too, Drew, in the commentary box. Our statisticians are keen Richmond man.
Well, we have just over 7.5 minutes left. 106 plays 99. Tigers by 7 points.
Vardy's touch there was important.
Yep.
The handball was away and he just got his hand on it.
You don't want anyone to sit off the ball here now. Just wherever it is, you just got to go in at it. Vardy did it and was able to intercept the handball.
It's like kids footy now. You can throw a blanket on about 24 players around this. He'll get it out.
Gale.
Oh, there's a shocker kick by Gale. Miranda marks 35 metres from goal. There is a fair touch of fluke element about that Michael Gale's kick.
I was just thinking, I just had the feeling that Lady Luck's looking at the Tigers just at the moment.
Well, Miranda been benched once or twice. Got 15 votes in the Brownlow last year. A real surprise to many people. But he's been goalless today. That's what he's there for, to kick goals. Can he kick this one? Can he what? 13 points the margin.
Well, that's given them the breathing space they wanted. Here it is. Gale just looking. There was the opening. Just get the ball out there. What would be on the end of the kick, no one would ever know. But Luck favoured the Tigers. It had elevation and it hit Marinda right on the chest, and then from some 30 metres out he turned around and did it. Players are doing their part, and Robbo, you can hear the crowd now trying to do their part for the Tigers.
I think that'll probably carry them to a win, Terry, now with 13 points in their favour, but there's still plenty of time left, 6.5 minutes. Straight down for a goal, and all of a sudden it's back to 7 points if the Crows can get it, but it's Richmond. Campbell's kick, Broderick caught, Ormondellan throws him to the ground, ball spills to Ryan. Ryan's little kick is not too bad. Great diving effort by Rogers. He had to be desperate, and he was. Rogers from left half forward. His kick will land at centre half forward. Knocked away by McCartney. Ben Hart. Hand pass out wide. Darren Jarman carries the footy and then kicks it wider still. Ormondellan's got it in front of young Ryan. Ormondellan now. Kick towards the right half forward. Good mark. Bowden to Bond. Bond to Rogers. He's got the football on centre wing. Maybe could slow it down, but well, with just under 6 minutes left, you'd reckon they'd be striving for another goal, maybe the Tigers. Broderick has taken the mark. He's still too far out to score. Goes in short, and it's a mark. Bond, he's come a long way down. Chris Bond, he's been playing in the back pocket. His kick will land at centre half forward. High flyer was Richardson, taken by Stanfield. Kick smothered. Jamison's handball smothered. Manfield to Daffy, he's in trouble. That's Visco, grabbed by the jumper, no free kick. Umpire calls play on now. It was a free kick to Richmond. The advantage, Richardson's got the mark. Richardson's got the ball, 40 metres out, 45-degree angle.
11 marks, Robbo.
Well, he certainly played his part. He's kicked 4. And you would think his 5th goal, if he can kick this, would just about be the end for Adelaide. 5 minutes, under 5 minutes left. Terrific crowd in the finish here. Nearly 33,000. They all seem to be down.
32,880.
All seem to be down pretty much to one end of the ground, don't they? But this is Matthew Richardson from about 45 metres. Oh, it's a beautiful kick. Lovely kick, Richardson. Goal.
Goal, set and match.
Just about 5 goals to Matthew Richardson. And there's the scoreline. 19 points, Richmond's favour.
Well, I think it's been a very good effort from Richardson. He's been there right throughout. A couple of goals in the opening quarter, another one in the second. And then when the real heat was on, when the contest had to be won or lost, he's picked up 2 in the last quarter. Ben Hart sticks at the task right throughout. 5 goals for Richardson. Great effort.
Well, after the Tigers were pressured, the margin got to a point. They kicked 3 goals in 5 minutes and now lead by 19. Brendan Gale's been fantastic in the ruck. Richardson, look at this athleticism. How would this be for a goal? Didn't get it back far enough. That's now 5 goals to Matthew Richardson. He kicked 5 in this corresponding game at the MCG last year. It was under lights. On that occasion, Richmond won by 46. This has been a lot harder won. It's not quite won yet, but 4.5 minutes left. You'd like to be on it.
It's looking a bit ordinary for Adelaide as Jamison kicks in, goes pretty well straight down the ground, but a terrific mark taken by Rogers. He was unopposed, but the ball just floating a little awkwardly. He made sure of it. Probably playing a bit of a possession game here, kicking it out wide for Nichols. Nichols with the right foot kicks in. Marinda tries to just smother it, not able to do so. Edwards, James, back onto his right, back there to Johnson. Johnson's kick went straight past Joel Bowden. Nigel smart, ball spills back. Williams somehow got clear, then the kick was pretty well ineffective. Handball, James, out wider, into the path of Smart. Can he shrug the tackle? Gets the handball back, but Gale is there. Michael probably would be reasonably happy. He's a bit disappointed maybe that he wasn't able to grasp the footy, but out of bounds is not such a bad result. Left forward pocket for Adelaide. They trail by 19 points, 20 points now. 18-11 to 15-9, down under 4 minutes.
Gale again. Here's Smart. Oh, just misses. It's a point. Well, it does get them. No, not quite. Still 19 points the difference. I was going to say 3 kicks the difference, but not quite. Nigel Smart, 3 goals, 2 today. Just looking at some ruck stats that we have. Centre hit-outs. The effect of Gale, 23 to 8 in favour of Richmond.
Turner kicks in, and again goes for the long bomb, well outside 50. The ball spills to Naish. Naish's kick is pretty good. Out there for Broderick, but that awkward bouncing ball finding the boundary line. Paul Broderick, he hasn't been too bad. 15 kicks and 11 hand passes. 4 tackles, 4 marks. Brendan Gale has played pretty well, 18 hit-outs. His opponent in the ruck, Barry Stanfield, has been reasonably good for the Crows. Broderick dumped. Stanfield kicks it forward with the left. In towards the centre. Williams taken off it. Ryan for Richmond. Kicks it quickly. Back to half forward. Miranda at the back. Recovery not too bad. Now for Nichols. Nichols to Michael Gale. Michael Gale into the pocket. Richardson somehow just slipped away from Ben Hart. He plays on. Kicks it across his body. And hooks the ball, but not far enough. It's through for another behind to Richmond. 5 goals, 3 to Matthew Richardson.
He's a great player, but he'd drive you mad sometimes, wouldn't he? Those lazy shots with his sort of back to the goal, over the shoulder. That's Michael Gale. What a mark!
Yeah, that's a very good mark.
Taking the wind out of his sails.
Yeah, very courageous. I think we can back with the year before last when a nasty shoulder injury. He might have been out around the same spot there and worked his way back into the game. I hope nothing serious had happened to that shoulder again, but I think, yeah, you're right, Rob. It's just a little bit of wind out of it all.
No amount of ballet practice could prepare you for that. Wow, he really hit hard.
Actually, he's been a terrific player, hasn't he, Michael Gale? He made his debut in 1986, and this is his 164th game.
Yeah. It's a lot of tough, hard footy, isn't it?
In fact, he can't take the kick. Trent Nichols will take it, and it's in the hands of a pretty good outfit. 49 metres out. Across the face. 4 are behind.
I think he prefers him on the run. Good game from Nichols, though. You know, Robbie Powell left the ground quite early in the match with a back injury. Nichols got his chance off that interchange bench and really has made the most of it.
Jamieson to himself and then Long. Gets out close to the wing. In front there was Holland, not able to mark. Taken by Michael Gale. Little kick into the pocket. Jamieson too high. Richardson at the back. So 14 marks now to Matthew Richardson. You're a bit quick on the uptake there. Our statistician, I've looked down and
he's already got the 13 up.
He had the 13 up as quick as a flash.
The ball was in the air when he had the 13th there.
Well, is he going to be as quick with this goal tally? I suppose you can't, because you can't anticipate. Matthew Richardson, nice looking approach, kicks for goal and misses. So he was reasonable, 5 goals 1. He's now kicked 5 goals 4. So his last couple of shots have been offline. 22 points, Jamieson to himself once again.
And has kicked it a mile to the centre of the ground. Any amount of Richmond players there to punch it down. Front of the pack, James. Chest mark, Gasper. He was taken high in the tackle and will get the free kick. Time has run out for the Crows now. A minute and a half left. The margin 22 points. Here go the Tigers again. Rogers pumps it high. Miranda the only chance. Crummer's needed. Edwards outside the 50 with his kick. McCartney, a collision coming up. Holland rides the bump. Oh, clever kick. Nichols had a quick little look and allowed his opponent in to take a mark. And the mark taken by Johnson. Well, it's going to be another defeat in Melbourne for the Crows, but there'll be some positives out of it because they have come back from 7 goals down. At the moment, they're being beaten by about 4. but they got it to within a point in the last quarter. Oh, here go the Tigers again. Manfield, he's got pace. Daffy loves a goal. A long way out this time. Richardson! Now surely he'll kick this one.
You might want to have a look at this on the big screen, I'd say, Matthew. Huh?
And there go the eyes. They just had a little bit of a look.
Didn't look too bad, Matthew.
He's happy.
Right above the goals, the big screen. What a thrilling player he is. 6 goals, 3 in the last quarter.
Yep, he really is the key to the Tigers side. I mean, a young player now in his 5th year and overcoming a serious knee operation some 2 years ago, and if he had been able to play that season and picked up the valuable experience at that early stage of his year, of his career, how good could he be? But he really just shows that the man his size, I mean, Ben Hart, he's no slouch in the air or at playing the game, and just this last quarter has been the Richardson show.
Here's 28 points now, the margin. Didn't seem all that long ago that we were headed for a very, very close finish right up to maybe the last few minutes when Richmond led by just a point. Stanfield kicks it out of the ruck contest. Ryan across the centre of the ground. Daffy leads in the race for the ball. Nick Daffy will take possession. He's kicked a couple of goals. Nick, 3 goals to be exact. Gets around onto his right foot, kicks to half forward. The siren sound as Johnson takes the mark. And after a very, very interesting tussle, Richmond win the game by 28 points, 19-14, 128. Adelaide 15-10, 100. And for Richmond, Matthew Richardson kicks 6, 3 goals to Daffy, 3 goals to Nichols, and 2 goals to Justin Charles. For Adelaide, 5 goals to Tony Modra, 3 to Nigel Smart, and 2 to Brent Williams. So an interesting game between the 2 winners from last week, Adelaide Crows and Richmond. But at this stage, Richmond are the undefeated side after round 2.
And from the 14-minute mark, Richmond kicked 4 goals for to a point after the Crows had got to within a point.
Well, I think that's a very, very good win for Richmond. Last week they had to go all the way against Geelong. This week they were really pushed there by Adelaide, and to be able to take that, only have their lead whittled down to just the 1 behind and then come back, I think there's good signs. But gee, I think Malcolm Blight and his people can go home feeling a lot better about the Adelaide side.
Well, what an athlete, Matty Richardson. Here he is with curls.
Yeah, thank you, Drew. Well, Matty, they came back at you pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, they never gave in. The Crows, they did a great job and got within 1 point there. And just we tried to throw it away, but then we regrouped and it was a good win in the end.
You must have been pretty obvious for the game. You were going to have a height advantage, and Walls intend to use that?
Yeah, we thought before the game that it'd be Ben Hart, so I suppose you just got to use your strengths. And I knew I was a bit taller than him, so I had to try and get all over him, I suppose.
Brenton Gale and Wayne Campbell, 2 very important players for this year so far.
Yeah, I mean, Benny's been given a fair go on the ruck, and that's where he plays really good footy, and he's got us going out of the centre, and Wayne's our captain now with Nigel being out, and he's just been leading from the front the last 2 weeks.
Well done, a dozen marks, all the best. Enjoy yourself.
Thanks, son.
So Matty Richardson goes over to join the team. So theme song sounds again. A 28-point win to Richmond, 19-14 to 15-10. Great game at the MCG, and the Tigers by 28 points. It was fantastic to see them let Scott Turner lead them off after playing his first game in nearly a year. Leading goal scorer was Richardson, who kicked 6, and Modra, who kicked 5 for the Adelaide Crows. Richmond had most of the kicks, most of the hand passing, and the marks mainly through Richardson. He was a mile on top. The other two games today were magnificent affairs, and Geelong beat the West Coast by one straight kick, with Peter Riccardi the leading goal kicker. He kicked 6 for the Cats. And in the other game, the Western Bulldogs against Sydney, and the Bulldogs won by 7 points, with the winner coming from Darcy right on the siren. 3 magnificent games in Melbourne today. Terrific action, and well, we certainly hope you've enjoyed it.